Hello, everybody. Sorry, I was muted. I got some food, so I will be chowing down, even though I will make sure everything gets turned off. And which one is this? Is this the carne asada? Burrito. Yeah, this is the carne. I want the shrimp. Hell yeah. Wait, nobody can hear me on YouTube? Okay, alright, good. I was like, I unmuted it. Okay. How is everybody doing tonight? Hello, BB Vortex. Dog is saying hi. Dog wants to say hi. Hello, dog. Hello. Hello. Oh, thank you very much, Ashvale. I hope the makeup turned out okay. My makeup turned out pretty good today, I think. I am so waiting to get a haircut. I think tomorrow I will finally get a haircut, which I'm very excited for. Just chilling. Tomorrow's my Sunday night. Very fun, Renaroo. I'm okay, I guess. I'm sorry, it's just okay. Doing well. My husband is back from his trip and we're just having a chill night. I love that. I love a good chill night, especially when somebody is coming back from a trip. Yeah, so today I wanted to start. We're going to get to. I know everybody in the chat already is Dynamite Wraith. I don't know how makeup works. It's very simple. I do here. You want to know fun tip? I do all of my blending and shading. I use fingers. I don't even really use brushes unless I'm trying to be really, really specific with it. So I think it's like totally, it's something that you just got to learn and pick up and dedicate some time to and figuring out. I wish there was an easier thing. Minty, I just finished binging all your videos recently. Thank you very much. Hope you are well. I'm doing okay. I have a feeling I'm going to be... Dog. My dog decided to throw her bone right under my chair. Melting glass. Goodness gracious. That sounds fun/dangerous. I thought 2023 was here, and now we have the Jewish channels first thing 2024. Yeah, so I wanted to talk about the Jewish channels because, as a lot of people know, I've been doing a deep dive video about anti-Semitism recently. And the Jewish tunnels have been a ridiculous thing to just see how quickly anti-Semitism spreads and conspiracy theories spread, especially on Twitter. But first, I want to go over Melanie Mack, who's the person right here. And for those of you who don't know, Melanie Mack goes somewhat viral every now and again because she is a like alt-right space streamer. She's kind of in the geeks and gamers sphere where she is explicitly political, but I don't think she would say she's a commentator. But she does talk about against wokeness and everything. And do not let her 2004 vintage Hot Topic look fool you. She is still apparently relevant today. Eyeshadow and all. Discount Paramore. B. Parker, that's a good way to describe the look, I think. That's a good way to describe it. And we're getting to, first off, Dustin the Dam, thank you very much for subscribing for tier 1 for 5 months. God, I've been streaming so long already. I can't believe it. And I'm gonna have to really start, I have to go back and get new icons and stuff for everything. Melanie Mack went somewhat viral a couple days ago for something that we're going to see here. Fight Fi 96 has resubscribed with Prime for 2 months. Thank you very much. We're going to see in a couple seconds here. And the reason I wanted to start with her is because I feel this will be a good little section. Black Sparrow, hey DDC, you've changed your hair again. Don't know how you grow it that fast, but it looks good. I just style it differently. I don't like this isn't even really styled at all. I just have it parted down the middle. Oh, are you saying because I have on this side I'm like I still have short hair, and this side actually was freshly shaved. No, I just style it a little bit. It's I do not grow it that much. Yeah, John Chitters, I think pick me is an okay term to describe her, because that's really what she's going at. And I want to look at her really quick because she put out this video completely unprompted, by the way. She decided to put out this video where she said a homophobic slur. And she basically, from that, it's such a good microcosm of how outrage is manufactured in the alt-right space, or in the right-wing spaces, including the kind of geeks and gamers areas, because she put out this video knowing that her saying a slur would get backlash, but so much of her interaction since then has just been her retweeting and getting support from people for saying that slur. So she knew that she wasn't actually going to get canceled by anybody who would matter to her, like, social sphere. And then that culminates with a full YouTube video talking about how she's not going to bow down to the cancel culture mob. Again, knowing full well what she was doing the whole time. So let's watch this first video, and I will I'll walk us through the anatomy of the alt-right, right-wing grift online right now.
Melanie Mark is such a homophobe. Oh my gosh, she's such a transphobe. Oh no.
Is it not? Sorry, it's not playing in my headphones real quick.
What are we gonna do? You know what? I am a Christian, and I believe that homosexuality and transsexuality is a sin. Now, if you are fine with me believing that, and you still want to be my friend, you are welcome to do so, and I will still love you. But just note that I will be hoping and praying that one day you can turn from your sin and find Jesus so that you can go to heaven. If you're totally fine with that, cool. Let's be friends. If you're not, goodbye, faggot. Melanie Mark is such a homophobe. Oh my...
Yeah. So that's this is the look of somebody, and I want to stress this. The most annoying thing about Melanie is that she has this thing going on right now of this like self-persecution complex, where she knew the backlash she would get for saying this. Understandably, she obviously hates gay people. Like, from this video, you can tell she hates gay people. And yet, I want to go and look at how she's treated her own, I guess, her own edginess. Come on, I don't want to go to... God damn it. Everything is loading super slow today. No, she really does have, it's kind of uncanny, like, she has such 2005 MySpace vibes. Visibility on this, by the way, was limited, and she directly tried to appeal to Elon Musk for it, but I think even Mr. Free Speech Town Square can't quite excuse that shit. So yeah, we'll get to that in a second. But so she did that like yesterday, a day or so ago. And since then, her entire feed has been nothing but trying to dunk on people and admitting to like being cucked by Christianity. Like, I dress modestly and do not practice authority in my church. Nobody can change their gender. This one's really funny. Somebody calling her the most based person on this platform, which is very cringe. And Melanie says, unprompted, by just somebody calling her based, I ain't shutting up. We have been tiptoeing around the mentally ill for too long. They think they can force us into submission. I'm over it. We're going to get our power back together. That, like, it's, again, the way she thinks she's fighting back is just calling people names. She also has a lot of this like very cringe modern trad Christianity shit that she's leaning into, which again we were talking about the label of pick me a little bit earlier. And the reason I think this applies specifically to Melanie is because she is indulging in such a far right grifter space, like the things that they love, the things that you see on like Roman statue avatar accounts. That's what you got here. Like this serious belief in things like, or at least she espouses a serious belief in things that pagans are like a modern threat. Sinners are a thing that are, you know, like a real peril to society. We need to armor up after careful consideration. I've decided to become more extreme in my religious beliefs. And it's a picture of a crusader, and I can't tell if it's AI. It might not be. Crusaders, though, famously, I've been doing a lot of research into my anti-Semitism book. Oh, God. It could be a book. My anti-Semitism essay. Crusaders were dumbasses. Like I realize it's a modern, like, thing to see them as these like valiant soldiers for Christ, but they were basically roving bandits who took every opportunity they could to murder and rape and pillage anyone who they saw for any reason as lesser than. Like they were terrible. That's why the Crusades were such a bloody shitty time. So it's just incredibly. Oh, I mean, like Crovey, I have a book that I'm writing, but it's fiction. She's retweeting people saying this. This is really good. If you are bowing down to pagans and affirming their sin, you're bowing to an idol. Not only is their blood on your hands, but you're committing spiritual adultery against God. It's stuff like this where if she were not this, if she were not playing to this audience, she would be getting called mid by all the same people calling her based. Stay mad. I ain't lying, and y'all know it. Like that's it. It's just trolling. It's just trolling. Here she loves saying slurs some more. More slurs. Commenting on Lil Nas X. This one is very funny, which is from Bryson Gray, who is a right-wing rapper. The time for soft Christianity is over. Real steppers go to war about Christ. The righteous are bold as lions, which is so, again, I really love like militaristic Christian wordage from Christian rappers and e-girls. Yeah. And so this is her thing, right? But I really want to go to, because she whole cloth created this controversy for herself. Like she had to have known when she recorded that 30-second clip that people would be like, maybe not. Yenza's Library super chat is $2. I'd rather be a sinner than be like Melanie Mac. Me too. Oh my God. Absolutely me too. But let's go, because of course she had to. How long do we want to take high-low bets? I'm willing to bet this video is about 10 minutes. It is right at the YouTube ad cutoff, if I had to bet. Oh shit, 20. What do you have to talk about? It was a 30-second video. What can you talk about for 20 minutes? Oh my God. So, again, Dorkable, thank you very much for subscribing. Let me actually move the, not that one. Alert box down here. I think we're finally getting a stream set up I can be happy with, chat. We've been finagling it for so long. So, this video, I haven't seen it at all yet, but I bet I know what we're going to see. Because, and I cannot stress enough, the thing that makes this so transparent is how she decided to go and say this thing she knew would get her canceled, even though it won't actually. She's not going to lose any standing in her social space. She's been supported by a bunch of people in her social area. She's being called based and being retweeted and all this shit. In her echo chamber, she's not going to be canceled. She never was. Like, people are going to complain because no matter what side of anything you fall on, people are going to complain about it. And she knew people would. So now, not only is she getting that extra support from Twitter, she is deciding to cash in on it to her 126,000 subscribers. Wow, but only 8,000 views in 3 hours? How much? Hold on, I gotta investigate this, because how much do you put out? Oh, okay, she's on that, like, quartering tip. I gotcha. Okay, so she has videos every couple days. I got it. Like, also, these are the kind of people who would call trans people narcissists, but literally watching and reacting to a video of yourself is bonkers. That's next level shit to me. Anyway, I'm going to let this play a little bit as I dig into a delicious locally bought churro.
Made the cancel pigs mad again. Uh-oh, oopsie.
And again, the like truly embarrassing thing here is that she knew that this would happen. Like, this is none of this is a surprise. And none of it, like, as a result, none of this feels authentic. Like, this is like, I don't know, it just reeks of childishness. Of, like, a kid going, oh yeah, I'm bad, I did that. But the thing that they did was, like, you know, like, they kicked a pumpkin or something. They knocked over a flower pot. They put a sticker on a sign and they're like, yeah, that's right, I'm a badass. And it's like, nobody really cared. Like, I'm sure there's somebody who would care if they saw it, but, like, for the most part, nobody really cared. Like, what are you doing? Planned content production, that's a great way to put it.
X, whatever the heck you want to call it. And they are throwing a huge tantrum over something I said about my faith and how I will not be accepting sin and conforming as an ally or whatever you want to call it.
Again, God damn it, I want to get to my churro, but she keeps saying stuff I have to disagree with. The video wasn't about sin or faith. The video, and the reason why she knew people would get mad at it, was specifically because she called gay people faggots. That's specifically why. She knows that. She's doing this, like, Matt Walsh type thing where she's trying to cover and be like, no, actually, they are attacking me for my faith and my religion in Christ. Nobody gives a fuck. And now the cancel pigs are trying to cancel me. It's like, no, stop it. You're not that important.
Okay, so let me just dive into this video and show you all what happened. It went pretty viral. So, Drama Alert picked this up because when I just picked it up, yeah, it still was going pretty viral. Well, then Drama Alert picked it up and it went even more viral. This is what sent the cancel pigs to mass report me and my tweet, which limited the visibility because apparently Twitter/X is not so much a freedom of speech platform after all. So, but it's funny because mine is limited visibility, but not on here, not their tweet with it. That's okay, interesting. But hey, I don't even care. I'm happy this is reaching people. I even retweeted it. 2.3 million views here. Mine hit like 660,000. I don't care. Like, some people, oh, you're grifting for money. I don't give a crap. I don't even think you get paid for limited visibility tweets. I could be wrong, but I don't even freaking care. Twitter doesn't, I get barely any money on Twitter, and I've been tweeting all this kind of stuff long before Twitter paid, so it's not why I do it. I'd rather the message get out than
Okay. Couple things there, just off the bat. If you don't care, you wouldn't be making a video about this. You would let your faith speak for itself, by the way. And you haven't been saying things like this, at least not specifically on Twitter. Again, she's trying to double back and make the argument that, oh, I've been talking about my faith and I've been very forward about my Christianity, my belief in Jesus. But that's not the thing people were actually mad about. You haven't, in fact, at all, she hasn't said the thing that people are actually mad about. Awesome Kid has used 100 bits. Hey, DD, have you ever seen Pixar's For the Birds? I think it's a perfect analogy for many things, including where bigotry leads people. I have. I haven't seen it in a while, though. I might have to check it out again. Lothlar Bass has super chatted $5. Thank you. Someone who claims to be as comfortable in her faith as she does wouldn't be so ready to put down others who disagree with her. You know, you'd think that people who are like comfortable with things like their religion and sexuality wouldn't have to be such dicks about it all the time, but
I'd rather that get out and people see what I have to say than get paid by Twitter. Okay, that can pay half my grocery bill on a good month, maybe. All right, so, and I eat cheap. All right, so I'm going to just play this video. Since this is on YouTube, I'm going to have to add a little censor over the very last word I use here. But as you can see, this censored word here, that's what I said. All right, so let me just play it for you.
Melanie Mac is such a homophobe. Oh my gosh, she's such a transphobe. Oh no, what are we gonna do? You know what? I am a Christian and I believe that homosexuality and transsexuality is a sin. Now, if you are fine with me believing that and you still want to be my friend, you are welcome to do so and I will still love you. But just note that I will be hoping and praying that one day you can turn from your sin and find Jesus so that you can go to heaven. If you're totally fine with that, cool. Let's be friends. If you're not, goodbye.
So, yeah, I had an actual point that I made my point that I wanted to make, but also I wanted to make it funny. So I did. That, you know what? That got limited visibility. That got, oh, this is hateful conduct. Me saying, oh, I hope you can go to heaven. So hateful. So
okay. So again, we clearly see her being purposefully just, I don't have a better word for it than dense. Like, you just sat there and had to sit through and laughed at yourself calling gay people faggots, and then you had to be like, I don't know why. Twitter thought it was so hateful to think that I'm going to pray for people. You know that's not why. Like, you're just being, yeah, super, like, obtuse on purpose is the only way I can really phrase that. I do want to check out, though, because people are talking about seeing her previously. I am not super familiar with her, and I'm curious about her age. I'm willing to bet 30s, early 30s. 37? No. Yeah, that looks like her. I mean, I guess. Damn. Like, and these that could be entirely inaccurate. All right, so somebody says she's 32. That is closer to what I thought. There's another one that says 37. Wait, no. I'm 36 and feeling good. 6 months ago. So she might be 37 or 36. We can at least confirm she's 36. 36 and looking like that. I mean, like, follow your truth, but how I don't know how you can then go and make fun of how other people like dress and act and say that like trans people are playing dress up when you're like you were just stuck in middle school mentally, apparently mentally. Like, I don't know. That seems a little So next up, because I have to finish, I started eating the shrimp burrito. I took the camera off so people didn't see my ungainly display. We will talk about the Jewish tunnels. But first, Matt Walsh has been going on a tirade these last couple days, and I feel like he's in a lull period at the beginning of the year, because what I'm really bracing for is his and Ben Shapiro, particularly his, because he's the big Tradcat guy, everybody's reactions to Lil Nas X's, whatever Lil Nas is cooking. I can't wait. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be like WAP times 1,000. But in the meantime, Matt has combined his hatred of progress and women and diversity to just really bitch and moan nonstop about DEI, or diversity, equity, and inclusion, as it applies to the airline system. So let's go into this and listen to why, because it's just so real dumb. Did I hear about the U.S. starting bombing in Yemen? No, I did not. I will look into that really quick, see if I can find something on Twitter.
Airlines took off from Hawaii in heavy rain, and about a minute into the flight, the aircraft plummeted towards the ocean. It came just 750 feet from hitting the water at high speed, which almost certainly would have killed all 280 people on board. In the end, the pilots saved the aircraft by just a matter of seconds. Now, for more than 2 months, no one heard about this incident. It was as if it had never happened. And by the time the mainstream news reports began appearing in February, more than 2 months later, United assured the public that the FAA had been notified and that an investigation would be forthcoming. Watch.
Alrighty, scary moments like this, though, for some passengers on a United flight out of Hawaii. Just moments after takeoff, the plane took a steep nosedive, coming within 800 feet of the ocean's surface. This happened December 18th. Flight tracking data shows the Boeing 777 took off from Maui in a huge storm. You can see there, climbed to 2,200 feet, then descended at 8,600 feet per minute towards the water. A passenger told CNN it felt like a roller coaster and that people were screaming on board.
Oh my goodness.
The pilots recovered from the nosedive and then safely made the trip to San Francisco.
Wow.
United says a formal report was filed with the FAA. The pilots then received additional training. The whole incident lasted around 45 seconds.
Okay, so taking a shrimp burrito break really quick to say, okay, so it's a good thing then. Like they made it. The pilot's training kicked in. They piloted everybody's safety. We're good. I can't wait to see how and or why Matt Walsh has a problem with this.
That's a long flight after something like that happens on takeoff. Now, notice how there's not much curiosity from the news anchor there about why this incident took so long for the airline to disclose to the public. It's the kind of thing that you'd like to think we'd hear about right away. There's also not much of an explanation about what happened exactly. It's implied that the pilots may have made a mistake because they're getting more training. But what mistake did they make exactly? Well, late last year, we got something of an official answer. It turns out that according to the NTSB, the captain called for the flaps to be retracted to the 5-degree setting, which is a normal setting for takeoff. But the first officer thought the captain had called for a 15-degree setting, so he selected that one, which was the wrong one. And that misunderstanding caused a major problem because the plane was going far too fast for that flap setting. To avoid damaging the plane, the captain started to slow the aircraft while he tried to diagnose the problem. Instead of realizing his mistake, the first officer suggested that maybe the instruments were malfunctioning, and the two pilots continued to kind of troubleshoot the problem. In the process, they became disoriented as the plane quickly lost altitude. The pilots' confusion continued until the plane blared an alarm telling them that they were about to die if they didn't apply maximum power and pull up, and they did. And fortunately, nobody was harmed. Incredibly, both pilots of the flight are still employed by United Airlines, we're told. They nearly killed everybody on board through their incompetence, but that's not disqualifying, apparently. Beyond some basic information about their flying experience, we still don't know much about those two pilots. For example, we know that the first officer has a total of 5,300 hours of flying experience, which is respectable for his position. But at the time of the incident, he only had 120 hours in the Boeing 777. And according to a report by Tucker Carlson last year, which cited an anonymous source at United shortly after this near catastrophe took place, this first officer was a new hire at the airline. Could that lack of experience have played a role? And more to the point, could either of the pilots' identities have played a role in their hiring or the airline's refusal to terminate them after they almost steered a passenger jet into the ocean? We don't know. We're not allowed to know because
we don't know. We're not allowed to know. So all of this buildup has been 4 minutes of building up to talk about how diversity is our fault and how it's going to lead to people dying, when this was just a simple mistake from a pilot. One of the pilots has thousands of hours logged, they said. And then when he comes down to, does the race of this have anything to do with it? His answer is, we don't know. He doesn't even have a piece of evidence to be racist about. He's literally just making it up. Like, he's literally just, again, we see Matt Walsh getting mad at the idea of something happening. Something that didn't happen, but it might have. It could have. We don't know. Like, and this also belies Matt's just general entitlement. Like, you saw this with the Nashville shooting too, where he's like, well, they won't let us see the diary of the shooter. It's like, it's the same thing with this. It's like, yeah. Like, that's not, everything is going to be public all the time. Like, why do you think you deserve to see literally everything from corporate flight plans to, like, forensic evidence? Like, why do you think you're so special and that is like a get out of argument free card? Oh no, just saw that. Enzo's Library, $5. Thank you. Leave it to Matt Walsh to make a plane crash about diversity for no apparent reason. Like, quite literally. But we've got more to go. So I just wanted to take a quick break. My burrito's almost done, and check on this.
The federal government and the airlines don't want us to know any more information about the identity of these pilots or any of their pilots who are involved in near disasters or anything else about what actually happened. There is an ongoing information blackout about these kinds of events, and it's deliberate. But in their various public statements and press releases, United Airlines has made it very clear that they are mainly interested in hiring pilots on the basis of skin color and gender rather than competence. In fact, they participated in a Vice documentary back in 2022, United did, about their DEI initiatives. Watch.
So we are in a plane right now. I'm about to take off with a student from United's new Aviate Academy. A bit nervous, but let's do this.
Purefoy is training to become a pilot with United Airlines, which became the first major airline to launch its own flight school at the beginning of this year. But United is making another push. It said half of its recruits are going to be women or people of color. A pretty ambitious goal for airline pilots who are 93% white and 95% male. Black women make up less than 1% of the pilot industry.
I have a confession, guys. I have never seen a black woman fly a plane. What made you want to become a pilot?
So I was a flight attendant for 3 years at a major
Sorry. I was just talking about how pilots, last time being muted. I'm back. I ate my full shrimp burrito. We're all good. Pilots are a very intensive profession. They take years and years of study, and you are working just ridiculous physically and mentally strenuous hours. So I feel like that has led to it's almost like truckers, where it's a profession that doesn't easily lead to other types of life, you know? Like, pilots have to live not necessarily on the road, but in the sky, as it were, because they are, you know, they're catching layovers. They are, okay, I'm going to pilot this one back. They're basically like bus drivers, where if you've ever seen bus drivers in a city, bus drivers will sometimes take over for other bus drivers in the middle of a route. That's kind of like pilots sometimes do that too. It's a job that, like I said, like truckers, it doesn't lend itself well to transferring to other professions. So a lot of pilots stay in that profession for a very long time. Crovey, they're just letting anyone pilot trains. Yeah, planes. Yeah, no, it's... I forgot. Real life diversity initiatives basically made real life like Battlefield. Logan Mansion Games is similar to the arguments that Charlie Kirk made about the Titanic submarine. Unfera, thank you very much for following. I'm so glad I just added that. This is my new little joining notification. I love it. If names are reported, people aren't willing to report problems because they're afraid of blame. That is one reason. Another reason is if they make it public, as like Matt Walsh opened this video by saying they almost killed hundreds of people. There are so many unhinged people out there. Like it literally does no good to make the names of these people public, these pilots, because not only does it affect the confidence of people, like if they find out that they're the pilot, the confidence of people in the overall brand of the company, like it benefits nobody except for Matt Walsh's weird little propaganda crusade against diversity. Benefits nobody to release and reveal the names of these pilots. Janodian, thank you very much for subscribing.
U.S. Airlines.
Minor glitch. Does he think... Sorry, my dog has driven her bone underneath the chair again, you goofball. Does he think black women can't fly planes? No. He would say no. What they would say is that the best person for the job should be selected. And the weird racist undercurrent there is that they feel like, well, yeah, all the white men are in the job, so I guess the best person has been selected. They think that because companies like this, who, by the way, are experiencing shortages of pilots, if you want to know why places like Delta, is it Delta? I think it was Delta. If you want to know why companies like Delta and Alaska and Horizon and all these other companies are looking to diversify their pool of pilots, it's because they want more pilots. They are trying to cast off the image that, oh, every plane pilot is just a white dude, because they need more pilots to keep making money. They want more people to join and be pilots for them so they can keep making the money that they make. Like, it's very simple. It has very little to do with their personal beliefs that they are trying to push an SJW woke agenda like he's trying to portray it as. Indie List, thank you very much for following. Smoke Kitsune, thank you for super chatting. $10. Holy guacamole. First time being able to catch a stream live. Got jump scared by Matt Walsh's voice. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being you, Smug Kitsune. Minor glitch. What's the thing about the Jewish tunnels? Oh, we'll get to the Jewish tunnels. We got more time on Matt Walsh to spend, but we'll get to the Jewish tunnels. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Emil TV, Dead Domain, it's funny, the argument, the best for the job, I've never actually seen anyone prove that someone was the best for a job. The assumption is weird. Yeah, it's saying that they want to hire the best person for the job is a way to undercut efforts for diversity, because you are saying that if you are going to hire somebody on the nature of them being black or the nature of them being, Asian or woman or gay or whatever, you are putting any experience and any ability they have behind their status as a minority, which is not true. That's not true. If you come down to looking at two candidates for a position, they have the exact same skill set, the exact same level of experience, the exact same attitude that they'll bring to the role. Sometimes people might pick the one that will be more diverse because they think, hey, maybe they'll bring a new perspective to the workplace, depending on the workplace it is. This sometimes happens in artist circles. Like if you're hiring for art in video games or in movies, you want a different perspective. You want somebody with a specific eye. And sometimes that comes from a cultural background. Other times, people will want, this person might blend in better over here. This person might work better over here. But there is such a deep bias towards expressions of diversity, and this has been proven time and time again, that the reason there are so many efforts to continue diversifying workplaces is because we have proven for decades and decades that those people, what do you mean those people? No, and when I say those people, I mean anybody who's really not a straight white guy. That anybody who's not a straight white guy gets overlooked for a majority of positions far more often. And this isn't people like Matt, the straight white guys in the room, like to pretend like it's, this is, the white Christian male is being persecuted in modern society, when really the pendulum is just swinging back to be a little bit more even. It is not swinging fully in the opposite direction like they want to portray. It's just being a little bit more even. She wasn't aware of it. Probably not. Looking rather lovely. Thank you, Alex is Uncultured. Oh, Indie List. That's a totally good thing. You're absolutely right. I completely forgot about that. Pilots have unions. Those are like massive union jobs. Yeah, Selena Queen Bee, we will talk about the Jewish tunnels. Let's finish up with Matt, and then let's go check out the, excuse me, now I have hiccups. The Yemen situation real quick. No, we have not, well, we'll save everybody wants to see the Jewish tunnels. We'll save the Jewish tunnels for later. Volk, well put. Volk on YouTube, cishet whites generally cannot fathom cishet whites being privileged. Yep.
And absolutely loved it.
So a couple of years ago, United decided that 50% of its new pilot recruits are going to be women or people of color, and they're promoting flight attendants to make that happen. Later on in that Vice documentary, it suggested that the
flight attendants being promoted to pilot. First off, you cannot just, as a flight attendant, you aren't just promoted. Like, it's not like, hey, do you want to try driving the plane today? I guarantee that's not how it happens. I'm sure there is a vigorous vetting process and they get put through the pilot school and stuff. But that actually makes a lot of sense because a lot of flight attendants are already accustomed to like long flights, the weird work shifts, sleeping over in other cities, hotel stays, all the stuff that pilots are already doing. Like, again, it's not an easy life to get accustomed to. Like, it takes a certain type of person, a lot like truckers. Yeah. Emma's online, that's how it works at Sperry. Yeah, that makes, like, total sense. Event of the eating Jewish tunnels.
The point of this initiative is to alleviate the pilot shortage. Well, how is that going? A few days ago, the conservative commentator Ashley St. Clair posed a few questions to United based on some information that she had received, and here's what she wrote, quote, on July 29th, a United plane was nearly totaled after a hard landing. Who was flying that aircraft? Was
Eggs and Vodka, thank you for following.
The co-pilot a former flight attendant who was fired and then rehired through United's DEI program, despite being on a list to not return to United? Am I correct that this individual failed multiple trainings, including simulator training? Am I also correct that United has covered up this DEI disaster and many others? That's the question
That's okay. That's one example that she's speculating on, and he's using as proof positive.
posed again based on insider information that she had received. Now, United didn't reply, which you may have noticed is something of a pattern.
How do you think the intern who works the social media account for United Airlines, do you think they're like in a position to have access to those questions? Like, do you think the same people who work social media accounts have a line to the top of the company? Matt, I can't even with this guy.
No one thinks we deserve to know anything about what's going on in the cockpits of the planes.
Do we have, in the chat, by the way, I see we have almost 400 people between Twitch and YouTube. How do we feel about, my dog just brought me her bone. Do you want to come say hi on stream? Come on, come on up, come on. Psst, come here. Come on, come on, yes. Come say hi, come say hi. Yes. Oh. Dog wants bone, not to say hi. I am sorry to everybody. Syrian Town, I love your channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Do we want to... Miranda Nicole Knox, thank you for subscribing on YouTube. How do we feel about cat ears today? We feel good about the dog bone. Dog. Positively. Tea with Goblins is positive on cat ears. Pro cat ears. How do we feel about the dog's bone? The dog's bone is good. Cat, puppy, cat. All right, let's see. I just happen to have these sitting by because I think we wore them last politics stream. There we go. Let's see if I can... Okay. Okay. Okay, there we go. Give the dog cat ears. I do not have cat ears for my dog. Hey, why are you wrestling? Why are you wrestling with me, huh? What do you want? Sit. Sit. Stay. Shake. Oh, good shake. That's a good baby. Where's your bone? Where's your bone? Bone. Give me bone. Where's your bone? Okay. Okay. Yeah, lady wants all the attention right now. Matt is so boring. How could anyone watch this garbage? Oh, Logan's Mansion. You would be so surprised. Oh, Lane Kaplan, I'm glad. We have entered the neoliberal zone. Alrighty, let's go finish this up and then we'll go check out Yemen.
That we are flying in, you're just supposed to assume that everything's fine and that the flight attendants are transforming into master pilots at United's training academy. But the more you look into the specifics of United...
That's what training is for, ding dong. Like I don't know about master pilots, but yeah. That, like,
United's diversity initiatives the less solid that assumption seems to be. It turns out that United partners with several historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, as a way of recruiting pilots. One of the popular statistics-focused accounts on X, which uses the name IO, noticed that two of the schools that United has decided to team up with, which is Delaware State and Elizabeth City State University, are, quote, in the bottom 2.
Aw, I'm sorry, 80 memes. You can catch, everybody don't forget that you can catch the VOD later. So if you have to dip out of the stream, no biggie.
% of all undergraduate institutions in the United States. The bottom 2% is where they're finding their pilots. Elizabeth State, the account noted, quote, had the distinction in the 1980s of being the only university in which the average SAT math score was lower than that score which would have been produced if a person had guessed B on all multiple choice questions on the test. That's a pretty sobering reality.
You say in the 80s?
They're finding their pilots. Elizabeth State, the account noted, quote, had the distinction in the 1980s of being the only...
In the 80s. In the 80s. 1980 was over 40 years ago, Matt.
Only university in which the average SAT math score was lower than that score which would have been produced if a person had guessed B on all multiple choice questions on the test. That's a pretty sobering reality, especially if you plan on flying United anytime soon. Now,
that some of the pilot, all right, again, the corollary he's trying to draw here. Some of the pilots, a very small amount came from a school before pilot school. The college they were at had bad scores 40 years ago. That's the leap in logic. He's like, oh yeah, wouldn't want to have them fly in my plane.
To be fair to United.
And again, I'm sure this has nothing to do. Matt wants to say, oh, I'm not racist. I'm sure this has nothing to do with the school being predominantly black.
They don't just recruit from HBCUs with no standards. As a writer who goes by the pseudonym Peachy Keenan found, United also recruits from an organization called Sisters of the Skies. Yes, that is an organization that sends...
As a writer, that sounds like a Twitter bio or tag. Peachy Keenan? Is all of his shit just sourced from Twitter? Like, is that how he does all of his research?
Pilots to...
I say as I'm watching his thing on Twitter, but this is a full video. It's different.
United Airlines. And their acronym is literally SOS. At least you can rest assured that they have a sense of humor at United as your plane is plummeting to the ground. Maybe that will give you a little bit of a laugh. And it gets better. Watch.
Jada Williamson's always dreamed of sitting in the cockpit and calling the shots.
What I like about flying is you get to see different things you never see.
Matt, they are trying to turn this young black girl who has a passion for flying, who wants to be a pilot. Matt Walsh wants his fan base to be mad at this child. And Patrick W. Dune, SOTS, not SOS. Yeah, no, Darth Rex, another good point. The planes aren't crashing. Like, one thing almost crashed, but the pilots saved it. Like, yeah, it's unbelievable.
But that dream of a career in aviation is a rare one for black girls to accomplish, with fewer than 1% of pilots women of color.
It was tough, I won't lie, because there was no one that looked like me. So
now Captain Teresa Claiborne is part of a group of trailblazing black women pilots hoping to increase those numbers.
We believe if they see it, they can be it.
None of this is bad. This is just like what I was talking about in my Spider-Man essay, where when people were laughing and the geeks and gamers dipshits were all making fun of the Haley mission, and they were saying, Like, oh yeah, who's this for? Really, the deaf girl, the deaf black teenage girl demographic who also owns a PS5. It's a pretty niche demographic to try and hit. And it's like, that's only something that you would laugh at or make fun of if you thought it was bad. Like, it's only something you think is bad because it doesn't apply to you. Like, it's this kind of exclusion that is based on, this isn't my experience, so I can't identify with it at all. Therefore, it's bad.
She was the first black female pilot in the U.S. Air Force and is president of Sisters of the Skies.
Hey.
She is now a United Airlines pilot.
Why do you think more black women aren't becoming pilots? It's extremely expensive. I mean, it takes upwards of $100,000 to get your licensing to fly. So if our young ladies are not seeing...
He's also, by playing this full thing, he's also kind of giving up the ghost a little bit on the way he's trying to make it seem like they're just giving away pilot licenses. When they're saying, like, oh, it's really expensive. It's very intensive, over $100,000. There's a lot of training. It takes years of this. Like, playing this whole thing and not editing it selectively is really not doing him any favors. I'm shocked. I mean, I'm not that shocked. Gray White, thank you very much for subbing.
it. If their parents don't have the funding for it, then it's not going to happen.
Well, that's inspirational. If they can see it, they can be it.
Look at how derisive he is of just black little girls who want to be pilots. Being able to possibly realize that dream. And he's just like, oh, if they could see it, they could be. God, what a miserable dickhead.
That's the kind of thing. If you're flying a plane, that's what you want out of your pilot, to know that. Well, they saw it at least. That's the qualification that they fall into. That they saw it and they became it. Now again, this is an organization.
What even is this? Just waffling. That's what you want. Like, it was like he attempted a joke but bailed out at the last sentence.
That's training the pilots that are flying commercial aircraft, and this isn't training really. It's like a kindergarten classroom. And with these vapid self-help slogans and inspirational slogans, at no point are these people concerned about safety or competence. They want to put black women in the cockpit because they want to inspire more black women, and that makes them feel good. Not because they think they're getting smarter or better pilots. Because if you want...
Matt, again, it's like he missed the entire point of that video where they showed instructors, like airplane pilots, where they had this one somewhat older black woman as an airplane pilot. Like, do you think they aren't taught about safety? Do you think they don't learn anything at pilot school? Like, just because a black person is becoming a pilot doesn't mean that other thing. It goes back to what we were talking about with this idea of, like, the best person for the job, is that they think that means that every other qualification is being overlooked just so they'll have a black person. It's like, no. It is giving black people the opportunity, people of color the opportunity, trans people, gay people, women, the opportunity to show that white people aren't the only ones who can do these things. And in effect, inspiring other people to know that so they can follow their passion if they want to. Like a little girl who wants to be a pilot. You absolute dullard. I can't, like...
Want to get smarter, better pilots, then that's all you're concerned with. You just go looking for pilots who fit these qualifications regardless of what they look like. If they happen to be a black woman, then great. If it ends up that you have no...
He says after just deriding black women pilots for no reason. Like if that's really how he felt, he wouldn't have made this entire video. If he really felt, oh, well, if that's what you want to do, then that's fine. I think anybody can be anything they want. You wouldn't have made this. You wouldn't be saying this shit, Matt.
Black women pilots, then that is also great, because if you're just hiring and recruiting based on merit, then whoever's in there is the best for the job, and it's fantastic.
Oh, what did we say? What did we say?
Resolution than building a daily habit of...
God, fuck you. Serene Silence has resubscribed for 2 months. Thank you very much. All right. I'm done. I thought we would go with Matt a little bit more, but I am already growing weary of him. Let's go to Yemen. Yemen trending. This is the first time I've been trying to stay away from war stuff, but give me 1 second. Sorry, I'm sending selfies to all my partners. Okay. All right. Let's Bounce House is followed. Thank you very much. Dog, you are so loud. Did he condemn Hamas? Take all the time he... May Allah protect our brothers and sisters. All right. So what I need to know what is going on in Yemen. Let me actually just Google it real quick. Even though knowing... Houthi targets. Great. Iran aligned. That sounds like a smart idea to strike something aligned with Iran right now. Are we just, is this just going to end up running? Because wasn't Israel was striking Yemen a couple weeks ago? Oh, hell, they're striking them. Great. Houthi leader says any U.S. attack will trigger a greater response. Yemen is basically refusing to do business with Israel. So is America just playing a proxy war for Israel right now? And notice, I want to be very clear, I am not saying that America is like bought and paid for, infiltrated by Zionists or any of that shit. I'm not here to spread any kind of anti-Semitic conspiracies. I can still be critical of Israel's government. Will not go without a response. Abdel Malik al-Houthi said in a televised speech as the Iranian-backed group stepped up attacks on commercial vessels in the Red Sea in protest against Israel's war on Gaza. So, Minecraft, thank you very much for following. So, because they have been protesting through attacks, which again, violence talks. Like, it speaks. Target ships linked to Israel, and we will not back down from that. Comments come after the U.S. and 11 allies pushed a joint statement last week calling for an end to Houthi attacks from Yemen on Red Sea shipping, sending out an implicit threat of force. Various shipping lanes have suspended operations, instead taking the longer journey around Africa. Fuck. The Cyprus Shipping Cyprus Shipping Chamber, a key shipping industry group representing around 200 companies in Cyprus and abroad, said the attack could have a, quote, substantial impact on economies and a knock-on effect on prices around the world. Where countries heavily depend on raw materials, gas, grain, and pharmaceuticals, we will have to assume that will have a substantial impact on day-to-day living business operations, and this will have a multiplying effect, CSC Director Thomas Kazakos said. The Houthi movement, an Iran-aligned group that controls much of Yemen after nearly a decade of war against a Western-backed and Saudi-led coalition, has emerged as a strong supporter of the Palestinian group Hamas in its war against Israel. So, cursorily, the Saudis are American allies. Western-backed means essentially the U.S., Britain, or some of the other like big Western nations, but most likely U.S. It's not surprising that they would support Palestine, that they would support Hamas right now, because thanks to Western intervention, a lot of people in the region, a lot of the Muslim world, sees Hamas as fighting against imperialism. because of America's unwillingness to stand up against Israel and the genocide they've perpetrated. Scred05, thank you very much for following. Fight, yeah, that means we've been supplying weapons to the Saudis against the Houthi movement. Yeah, that's not surprising at all. Have you seen the video of Abbey Empire Files interviewing the average Israeli and they talk about killing Palestinians like it's normal? No, I have not, but that doesn't surprise me. A lot of the shit that I've seen. And here's the thing. Again, to make sure everybody knows that that is not every Israelite. Like, even the Jewish people and the Israelis who live over there, that is not every person. There are protests. There were protests in Israel when it came to Palestine. They were heavily suppressed by the government and media. Like, there are people, there are good people, I hate to say it, there are good people on both sides, but it's true in this case. There are people in Israel who don't want their government to be responsible for pogroms, for ethnic cleansing in Palestine. There are people in Palestine who do want to kill Israelis and do hate their way of life. That is not all of them. That's far from all of them. That's basically just Hamas. The problem is that this is and Israel has to know this. People like Netanyahu have to know this. Wars like these are self-fulfilling prophecies. When you spend so much money and manpower leveling neighborhoods and cities to find Hamas, you're not actually defeating anything. You are creating more enemies. The young children who are going to lose their fathers, lose their mothers, lose their brothers and sisters. The teenagers who are just coming of age to be able to handle a gun. What do they have to lose to go and join Hamas? Like, it's the same problem the West has been perpetrating in the Middle East for decades and decades now. Steve, Ethan is online, isn't streaming anymore, and has led me here. Hello, Steve. You've come in the middle of a rough time. Storyteller, it's called the Graveyard of Empires for a reason. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, I've seen the you B. Parker, you said Johnny Fett. Wait, you're talking about John Fetterman, but you said Johnny Fett, and my mind immediately went to Johnny Fettuccine, and I'm like, which I don't believe is a person. But I'm like, wait, who's Johnny Fettuccine? Is that a YouTube channel I haven't seen? If you really want to be depressed, there's also that Johnny Fett video where he tries to dunk on South Africa for stepping into the Israel-Palestine matter while pretty much going with the line. Yeah, no, he said some apartheid shit that's really fucking gross. Oh, is Low Tier God back? Seriously, dude, it's just fucking sad. Like, how you make new accounts, new YouTube accounts just to spite me? Like, really? It's just sad. Like, I don't know what you're doing. Lydia Rose just got off of Leftist Mafia's stream. I picked a bad time to tune in, huh? Well, okay. So, Lydia Rose, this is a real good news, bad news thing. Because good news, I'm wearing cat ears. Bad news, we're talking about war in Yemen that is probably going to lead the U.S. to further... U.S. and Britain. Like, let's not mince words. Kenny Ballin, thank you very much for subscribing. into a... Like, I don't even... Like, it can't even really be said that even, you know, we left Afghanistan, we left all these places, but, like, we still have bases all over the region. Like, we didn't leave the Middle East. Cat ears that don't match my hair. How dare you? Excuse you. Moth Mom Jess, thank you very much. I love my little hopping. That makes me so happy to see the little hopping gif. I'm so glad I made it. Oh, like Dragon Legit, I feel like Iran has been tiptoeing around, like they've condemned Israel through all of this, and I feel like they are really inching closer, especially with things like this, because so America has been backing Israel. These guys, the Houthis, have been backing Gaza and attacking Israel, and now America is going and attacking the Houthis. The Houthis are backed by Iran. Like, this is if it's so funny how quick to like bomb shit Americans are, and there are still people in America who want to depict Middle Easterners as like the crazy warmongers who are just gonna death to America, just blow everything up. They have exercised a insane amount of restraint across the entire Middle East for the last couple years. Like, from Trump killing that one fucking general to shit like this. Like, it is amazing that we are not in more open war. And it is really only by the grace of people who continually put up with interventionist war crimes. Fight. To be fair, the intervention in the Red Sea has been about protecting international shipping, but the bombing land-based targets in Yemen is a huge escalation. Yeah, exactly. Like, it is a escalation very obviously aimed at these things. Hey, look, these targeted strikes are a clear message that the United States and our partners will not tolerate attacks on our personnel or allow hostile actors to imperil freedom of navigation. So it is about the Red Sea. Imperil freedom of navigation. But Darth Rex, I don't know how much longer the Iranians are going to be hands off. American Zionist British aggression. Witnesses told Reuters that the raids targeted a military base adjacent to Sana'a Airport, a military site near Taiz Airport, a Houthi naval base in Hodeida, and military sites in Hajjah Governorate. The ongoing strikes are one of the most dramatic demonstrations to date of the widening Israel-Hamas war in the Middle East since its eruption in October, although the U.S. said there was no intent... The U.S. said there was no intent to escalate tensions. Get the fuck out. How... Like... One U.S. official, speaking on condition of anonymity, said the strikes were being carried out by aircraft, ship, and submarine. That sounds pretty fucking escalating to me. The Houthis, who control most of Yemen, defied a UN and other international calls to halt their missile and drone attacks on Red Sea shipping routes and warnings from the United States of consequences if they fail to do so. Here's the thing. The Houthis say their attacks are in support of Hamas, the Palestinian Islam group that controls Gaza. Israel has launched a military assault that has killed more than 23,000 Palestinians in Gaza after Hamas's attack on Israel, which 12,000 people died and 240 were abducted. Since late December, the Houthi have attacked 27 ships, disrupting international commerce on the key route between Europe and Asia that accounts for 15% of the world's shipping traffic. Why don't they talk about all the Palestinians that have been displaced in the hundreds of thousands? Why don't they talk about all the pictures of Israeli soldiers shooting mothers in the street who were waving white flags? They talk about all the Israeli soldiers having fun yuck-em-ups on TikTok as they destroy Palestinian houses and livelihoods. Oof. Oh, you stop it. You are fine. Hey, that is enough. No. Stop it. Be good. You know how it goes. You need time to chill out. Okay. Back. This dog barks at war crimes. Winter weather storm warning in California? No, goddamn. Yeah, Joe Dax, I do need a new chair. Like, unironically, I have a big, I don't know, a lot of people I know don't follow me on Twitter, but I was talking about it a couple days ago. I am planning something for the next month or two that is going to be, it's another undercover thing, like my church infiltration video, but on a much larger scale. Much larger scale. It involves Airbnbs and plane tickets and all sorts of stuff. So that is currently what I am putting money towards. But when I'm done with that, I am definitely going to be looking into upgrading a couple things. Oh, God, sorry, my arm is killing me. Joe Dax, I am not super familiar with the LA area off the top of my head. Yeah. So let's see what some of the reactions are to this. Yeah, that's not surprising. Fucking hate Jackson Hinkle, man. Well, I'm good. You know, it has been cold. The last couple days have been really cold. Radical cultists are broken people willing to kill us all. Do not have strike capacity outside Yemen. Like, when you really look at a map, it's crazy how small Israel is in, like, the grand scheme of things for how much power it has managed to amass. The circle is showing Yemen strike capabilities, I believe. So missile capabilities from Yemen, I think is what it's trying to show. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Jackson Hinkle got... divorced. The U.S. has been illegally killing civilians in the Middle East for most of my life under both parties. Now a Democratic president is illegally bombing Yemen instead of trying to stop a genocide. You wonder why people are totally disillusioned and want an entirely new system. Yep. Yeah, this Here's the real problem with how this is going to affect, how I think this is going to affect. Dog, could you just like chill, please? Oh, Hex, but I believe Zway the squirrel was one of those. I think they've already put those people back in circulation. Jackson Hinkle is a anti-Semitic piece of shit who has been using the war with Hamas to grow his Twitter account to over 2 million. Yeah, he is like he's like the libs of TikTok of telling people Israel is responsible for everything. I think the problem with this is how it's going to affect not just politics in the region, but especially, and this is, a selfish way to view it, I know, but the election moving forward. Because this year, in all likelihood, I honestly think Trump is going to be the nominee. Like as much as I would love for people to be like, no, Trump can't run, or for certain states to be like, okay, well, Trump can't be eligible on the ballot here. There's nothing I've seen that would show like an actual effort to stop him from running. Like he's been booked, he's had a mugshot, and they still haven't done it. So like, Trump is the presumptive nominee. And if he's not, it's likely Nikki Haley or DeSantis. Either way, none of those are particularly good candidates. Like, at all. And especially Trump, after January 6th, after a coup and all the other shit, and he's been legally charged and he's been arrested. All of these things should entirely preclude him from holding office again and running as president. The problem is, Joe Biden's steadfast support of Israel has been so easy for the right wing, for the left wing to disavow entirely and become disillusioned with, but also for the right wing to twist and depict as like in support of terrorism. Like you have right wingers, and you have right wingers like Ben Shapiro, who talk about talk about Palestine and Hamas in a negative light, but you have so many people like Jackson Hinkle spreading anti-Semitic propaganda that depicts Hamas, not Hamas in a positive light, but depicts Palestinians in a sympathetic light, rightly so. But that can only turn the tide against Biden more the longer he supports this shit. So, in effect, the Democrats have created this perfect storm that very well, oh Christ, very well could see Trump getting elected again. Like, here's the thing. It is a lesser of two evils scenario. Brother Johnny on YouTube saying it's a lesser of two evils scenario. Like, yeah. Like obviously I am not saying like, oh, we can't vote for Biden because that means, like you're supporting this stuff. Is like, no, I don't buy that argument at all. And I get where people come up with the conscientious objector argument, but this isn't veganism. Like if you don't want to support eating meat as a vegan, that's fine. You can't complain about a burger that's already on a plate though. It's done. Like the cow's been killed. If you don't want to eat it for a personal reason, for religious preference, for whatever, that's totally fine. You do you. I will never insult somebody for that. I will never rub it in their face. I will never be a dick about vegans or vegetarians or whatever. But if you are saying that, oh, I'm not doing it purely for a performative reason, that doesn't actually help anybody. It might make you feel better, but it's not actually making a tangible difference. And that's really the way I feel about when people say, oh, I refuse to vote for Biden. It's like, you're not doing anything that is going to help. Because you are literally just abetting like the most open fascism versus the shitty government we already have. Like it is a worse of two evils situation for sure, but also Like, what are you going to do? Like, the Democrats know that you don't really have a choice. Or at least here's the thing. I think that's what the Democrat establishment thinks. They know. They're like, oh yeah, everybody's going to vote for us because look at the other side. It's Trump. But when you have a president that is openly now enabling and starting wars like this, that's not popular. It's not a popular war. Broadly, it's just going to get more contentious. Yeah, no, and that's like everybody else listing the other shit is like Biden has done fuck all for trans people. The like thing with student loan debt turned out to be laughable. Like when people never got those final COVID payments. Like it has been nothing but lapsed promises, which you bet Trump is going to jump on come time for election season. Yeah, and Sam Progallo, like we've done vote blue no matter who for so long, and it's like, and that is the thing is that we're up against again one of the worst candidates ever for Republicans. Like and DeSantis would probably honestly be worse because his brain hasn't totally been fried, but like we are facing a conservative establishment that literally wants to enact open fascism. Like somebody was just talking about. Or even in Ohio, and I think West Virginia, Aaron in the Morning. If you don't follow Aaron in the Morning on Twitter, I don't know what you're doing because she has some of the best up-to-date reporting on like the issues with trans people and especially anti-trans legislation. I have bits of shrimp burrito on my lip and nobody told me. What are you guys doing? $5 from Larry Fishman. It's almost like both parties are wholly owned by capitalist oligarchs that view everyone that isn't born rich as lower than cattle. Yeah, funny how that works. Funny, interesting. Yeah, Draxus Stormscale. The best I can say about Biden is that he didn't actively pursue extra genocide of trans people within the United States. Yeah, that's the level we're at, where it's like, well, what are you going to take? Are you going to take the person who wants to do the genocide? The person who just stood by and let it happen? It's like there's nobody who is willing to stand up and fight and actively prevent these things. Sean of Donegal has used 100 bits. Hello, just popped into chat to cheer 100. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But Aaron in the Morning, where was I? It was just here. Here was another part of Matt Walsh bitching about the engineers being women on planes. Again, he's been on this for days. Like, this is just like, I imagine Matt Walsh goes to bed mad that women can fly planes and wakes up mad that women can fly planes. Well, pineapple, whatever, like, third-party candidates, again, it's a performative thing, and I feel like everybody knows it. You know, like everybody... all through school, when you're taught about the election system and the party system, you're taught that part of what makes America great is you can vote for whoever you want. And that's true. But while your vote technically does have the same weight as another person's vote, like this isn't like 3/5 of a person era that we're living in, each candidate does not have the same way. Like it is a two-party system. Like there might be people in third parties you'd be lucky to find a popular third-party candidate for Senate, for Congress. Like that does happen every now and again, but for president, no way in hell. Like it's just not happening. Part of it is because a lot of third parties are taken up by stunt picks, like Kanye going third party, like that kind of shit, which just, again, further decimates and divides a vote. If Trump went third party, that would be fantastic. I think best case scenario for next year is, and Trump will get the nomination, but like, because we live in hell world, Trump will get the nomination. If he doesn't, going third party which he would, I feel, absolutely do, because he can't go without his ego. He would try and do like the Freedom Party or some bullshit, which would decimate. If DeSantis was running, oh my God, there would be so many people running for Trump that it would just split the votes between the two. Mwah, that would be perfect. You know, I mean, there's a number of, like, there's so many things that change that have fucked people out of their voting rights. Sorry, I'm just reading the chat real quick. I know, Darth Rex, like, that's a, if he goes third party, that's a guaranteed Biden win. Hex, here's the thing, Hex, and I learned this a couple years ago with Trump, is you cannot go by, especially this early, you can't go by who's popular right now, because that shit changes so quickly. Like this time in the last election, it was a foregone conclusion that Bernie was going to be the nominee. It was like Bernie and Buttigieg? And Biden pulled, what, fourth in the big straw poll? And even before that, the one that Trump came in first, like, he was behind for a long time. Nobody took him seriously at all. And I don't think DeSantis has anywhere. I think DeSantis really wants the Trump riz, but he does not have it. He seems like an automaton who's been trapped against his will in an ill-fitting skin suit. So he doesn't have that riz. But like at the same time, I feel like it is still too early to tell. Mighty Mulatto Super Chat $10. General Dynamics defense contractor during the Bush years purchased Vangent and then got a contract to run the Affordable Care Act exchanges during the Obama era. Same people get money regardless. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like, especially when you're talking about like government contracts, like all those people know each other. Like they all go to I don't want to spread like conspiracies about, I'm sure they've all been to orgies, not all of them, but I'm sure a lot of them have been to orgies and stuff, because whatever, rich people do rich people shit. But like, you know, they go to each other's barbecues, they go to their kids' graduation together. Like when you hear about which congressional like staffers and which senators and congressmen and women, doesn't matter across what party lines, but when you hear about who secretly out of chambers, out of conflict, out of argument, is hanging out with each other, is going over to each other's houses for beer and to watch the Super Bowl, it becomes so stunningly clear that like, oh, we don't have like the allies that we thought we did. Yeah, Dynamite Wraith, I feel you. I feel you. Yeah, fight 96. There is exactly a reason why we've heard about the revolving door of lobbyists. Jesus. Yeah, here's another good one from Aaron Reed. A new bill in West Virginia, Senate Bill 194, would mandate all therapists, quote, cure trans people of being trans under 21. Where's the one in Ohio? Yep, Indiana has filed a bill to end, this isn't the Ohio one. Indiana has filed a bill to end all recognition of transgender people as one of several states to do so. There was another one, and I think it might have been West Virginia as well, but it was, and I had to actually stop and read it, but it essentially outlaws any public display of being trans. Like any public display of what it says as cross-dressing. Sean of Donegal has used 100 bits. Thank you for the cheers. Here's the thing, that one hasn't passed yet, and I don't believe it will with the language that's included, but it's still like the idea of people being able to go and pass these things is unconscionable. James Haltewanger, thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome. Yeah, no, and B. Parker, it's Project 2025 shit for sure, which is the other, like, Project 2025 was something. When I first heard about it, I was like, okay, well, I have to do a video on this. But like, and I still might as we get closer. I have my anti-Semitism video that I've been working on, and I have A number of other things I can't really talk about right now. But then after that, I'm doing the Satanic Temple. So maybe after Satanic Temple, sometime next month, I'll take on Project 2025, because that is a huge, big, deep dive type dish. But it's basically a worst case scenario. Like it is the worst people in the world pushing a explicitly, overtly Christian nationalist agenda. Like, and sharpening their axe and taking on everything you've heard pedants like Matt Walsh bitch about for years. Like diversity of any kind, CRT, transgender, anything, like they want it all axed. Like those are the most important things to the people under the Trump administration. Yeah, it's Yeah, no, Hero, in point of fact, the anti-trans bills are deeply unpopular among actual people. It's all shitty politicians being funded by rich schools to do this. Exactly. Like, it is politicians doing it for their party line. Like, there is broad and increasing support for trans people, because guess what? More and more people know trans people, as trans people are more visible in public life. All right, this looks like it's all Ohio stuff. God damn. Alrighty, I'm going to take a quick break and go get some water real quick, so I will be right back. And I'm going to let my dog out of the kitchen, see if she'll be good. Alrighty, be right back. You gonna be good? Are you gonna be a good dog? Yeah, you gonna be good? You gonna be a good dog? I should add some music to the background. Oh, ordering water on the phone. What do you want? I think my dog just wants me to hold her bone as she chews on it. You're so gross. Please hydrate. I am hydrating. I have my little mason jar. Should I also drink like a cat and just be like... Foxbat, thank you very much for subscribing. No. Oh, okay. What were we doing? Oh, yes. Oxpecker, thank you very much for subbing. Or for following. I am not trying to bring a pity party, but I'm trans and I've been going through it. And even my student loan servers like, this transphobia is just crazy and unacceptable. Hearing like a random normal person out in the wild say that really helped. Oh. I am sorry about that, Anna Rock Art. I would try and go through. We'll see if it gets finalized, but for now I don't own any student loan debt. There are a number of hoops you have to jump through for Biden's new student loan thing, but if you can do it, I would fully recommend it. Patrick Dune is super chat of $5. Christian nationalists be like, we won't be forced to play along with your delusions. Yeah, god damn, why? It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Let's go really quick to... Yeah, okay. I got it. Getting most of our news off Twitter these days. I hate Dom Luker so much. Like, he is such a piece of shit. So, we need to talk about the Jewish tunnels. Because... Dog, you are so loud. You're just the loudest dog in the world. Oh no, Darth Rex, there is, if you are under a certain amount, the government will, like, the government will step in and they've cleared money for loan forgiveness. But you have to jump through so many hoops. Patrick Dune, it's funny you ask why Dom Luker got banned. Dom Luker got banned for sharing images of one of the most heinous and reprehensible... I don't even want to look up on it because it makes me so... It, like, honestly makes me want to cry. Pieces of child exploitation material ever. A piece of... Which begs the question how he found it, because the images are not available online. They are only available if you have the media itself, which he did. And the version that he displayed had his watermark on it, so he had to have edited from it as well. And it is a piece of child abuse media that is so infamous that workers who, like the investigators who worked in cyber sex crimes, the people who have seen the worst shit you could possibly think of on the dark web, thought it was a myth because it was so horrendous. Dom Luker had that and posted some of it to Twitter to prove a point. What was it? He was trying to dunk on something. Yeah, it was the one Josh Duggar had. Yep. Yes, Ron. I think it's a Ron. I think Ron Roy. I think it's Ron, but yes, it's and again, like if you want, I'm not going to even give you the name of the thing because it's so. Yeah, don't say it in chat though. Crane was taken. Don't say it in chat. Mighty Mulatto has super chatted $20. Thank you. Green Party showed that the Dems will platform third-party ideas if it cost them elections. No one spoke about relief until Dr. Stein excited people about their platform. Federal employees had debts wiped out entirely. That is very... That is true. I wish more Dems would pay attention to that stuff, though. Like, I wish... I don't know. I wish part of it is that we have a gerontocracy, and so many people... Yeah, no, hold on. Mighty Mulatto, give me 1 second. Seriously, guys, straight up, do not Google it. Do not Google search it. Not because you will find it. You will not find it because it's on the dark web. But you very well could be put on a watch list. Just like straight up, don't even look at it. Don't look it up. Jane Durp is super chatted $5. I've been saying this for a long time, but I really think trans people in the U.S. should consider getting armed and take firearm training. Yes, I've been saying that forever. I fully agree. And people have criticized me for this in the past, for me being pro Second Amendment, which I wouldn't say I'm pro Second Amendment. If tomorrow, if I could have the Second Amendment repealed and nobody in America had fucking guns and machine guns and like assault rifles and all sorts of crazy pistols, like, I would be fine. I'd be so happy with that. But we don't live in that world. We live in a world where all the people with guns, who have the most guns, want to kill people like me. A lot of the time. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So I think it behooves every minority right now. Like if you look at the grand course of history, right? There are always little incidents that precede bigger events. And so I do not want to be I do not want to be, yeah, Latigra, sorry. I don't want to be like an Alex Jones type. I don't want to like put out a theory out there that's, has nothing to back it up. But when you look at things like, and again, this is just because all this history is fresh in my head. I've been studying it for weeks now. When you look at like the rise of Hitler, or really the rise of nationalism in Germany and how it's bubbled over, it didn't just start with Hitler. You know, like if you were to liken something like January 6th to the Beer Hall Putsch, which was a failure, just like January 6th was, it was a sign of bigger and worse things to come. And I don't know what that could look like. I know that this year, however, is going to be fucking incredibly tumultuous. And I think everybody should possibly be as prepared as you can for any outcome at all times. Like, at all times. It's like I've talked before about if you're going to go to any protests, you need to have a group that you go with. You need to have a bug out bag. You need to have a bag with medical kits and tape and water and like everything you need, because you would rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it. And that's really, and not saying that I don't think, yeah, Drax's storm scale. I said that was me winking at the camera that like, yes, I am in favor of like, if I feel my life, and I don't mean this in the way that a lot of conservatives mean it, where, oh, there's a person in my house, so my life is threatened, or, oh, a person isn't doing what I want, or they're blocking the road in a protest. Like, those I think are very bad and psychopathic reasons to try and take a life. But if somebody had a gun pointed at me, and I had one pointed at them, like, if it does come down to that, like, I would rather have a gun in my hand, you know? Tarb, oh, I will not be showing that off because I think I might get, I definitely would not be able to monetize it on YouTube, and I definitely would not be able to, I feel like that might get me stricken on Twitch. I'm not sure. I feel like it might get me stricken on Twitch. I would have to look up that stuff. The government will probably confiscate all guns from us and use our mental health problems as an excuse. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what some people try and do. Yeah, Volk, need to have it and never need to use it. At a rock art, okay, not to be that person, but yeah, I keep seeing the parallels, and I've been terrified hearing someone else say it makes me feel less crazy. Well, and the parallel, look, there have been so many, and I feel it's almost like, it's almost very milquetoast lib shit to be like, Trump is just Hitler, because he's really not. But there are a lot of similarities. I think the things that are so striking for historians, when you hear people talk about World War II historians, or people who really know the history of Nazi Germany talking about Trump, and they're like, oh, this stuff is, like, the parallels are crazy. It's not so much in Trump as it is the circumstances surrounding him, which often include just a, stop dog. Just like a nascent and rising nationalism, which is what we see everywhere. This has been depressing. Anyway, let's go to the Jewish tunnels. Well, and again, Patrick Zune, I think a lot of those, like, you've talked to Holocaust survivors that have drawn parallels. I think a lot of that has to do with, like Holocaust survivors probably didn't meet Hitler, you know, like, just like I've never met Trump, but they've met people who were fervent about Hitler. They probably met Hitler Youth or soldiers, or, you know, people who put up Hitler statues or you know, banners in their home. Just like Trump, it's the same. It's a similar cult of personality. Love the content. First time I've caught the stream. Usually the content is less depressing, but it's been a bumpy ride. It's okay. We're getting ready for the rest of the year. Anyway, Dom Luker, man who posted some of the worst porn on the face of the planet. Storyteller, yeah, we're talking about politics right now. We're getting into the let's talk about it. Let's get into the Jewish tunnels. This is a Dom Luker exclusive, everybody. Exclusive. My sources say the immediate cementing of the illegal tunnel under 700 Crown Heights, New York City synagogue was due to destabilize nearby buildings. This is the big story everybody's been talking about. The illegal tunnel discovered under a historic Brooklyn synagogue compromised the stability of several structures surrounding the religious complex, prompting an order to vacate as well as citations against its owners, city officials said. So that is one way to do the story. But Dom Luker has been really much in a very Jackson Hinklish way, let's say, leaning into the Jewish aspect of it, which if you go down to his comments, you really see why. Because instead, why do these images exist? It couldn't be anti-Semitism. By the way, this is the killing of Simon of Trent, which was a ancient Jewish conspiracy theory, and was like, there was no proof that Jews did it at all, except for prejudice that was perpetrated at the time. These images exist because of anti-Semitism. Here we go. Crime syndicate. What Jews are doing in that tunnel in New York City. I love the phrasing of this one. What Jews are doing in that tunnel in New York City. Because it's... The way it's phrased seems like a question and then another question. Like, what are Jews doing in that tunnel? And then, what are Jews doing in New York City? And I love that part of it because I'm like, New York City, famously not a place with a lot of Jews. It's just the way I read that I find funny. There's some other ones on here. So here's the part that everybody has been freaking out about. The truth of the tunnel still hidden. Worshippers and police clashed after a tunnel was found under a synagogue. Yeah, no, Darth Rex, you're ruining the surprise a little bit, but that's okay. Yay, inexplicable blood libel about a goddamn urban planning violation. Yeah. Jane Depp, we will talk about it. We will talk about the tunnel. I have a Vice article that actually explains everything very well, and it's... As anybody, here's the thing, and I've talked about this a lot in the upcoming video essay on anti-Semitism. I've talked about it a little bit in the Sound of Freedom video I did when we talk about conspiracies. Conspiracies are a way for a lot of people to make the world make sense, but it's also a way for a lot of people to make things sound way more exciting than they actually are. Whether that's good or bad, whether it's talking about people, like trafficking children or drinking blood or whatever. The truth behind the conspiracies are so banal by comparison that it allows a lot of conspiracists to just outright deny them. It's like, oh no, that's you really believe that's happening? But for everybody else, it's like just kind of boring, which is the case here. Like the truth behind this is so much more boring than the weird network of tunnels, like mole people story that people like Dom Luker are helping spin. Pander21, do you live near a community of Orthodox Jews? I don't. Spokane, not a big Orthodox area. Weren't for ridiculous anti-Semitism, the story itself is so friggin' hilariously weird. It is weird, but it's also like, it's weird in an unremarkable way. Like if this exact same story happened to literally anything else, if it was an apartment building and somebody was trying to expand their apartment, if it was, Catholic Church, that would probably also pull in some conspiracy theorists. I don't know, apartment building. Let's just go with apartment building. Like, there might be some conspiracies about like, oh, what are they doing down there? But like by and large, a lot of people would be like, oh, that's weird. That's dumb. But because they're Jewish, oh, buddy. That's the real cincher. Hyperloop by Elon Musk. Yeah, so that's the basic summation of it. And people have been, oh God, let's watch something from this lady, Blacks for Trump.
The only reason why slow ass Joe that got his ass as president is because of that glitch bitch Kamala. Everybody was so desperate to put a black woman, which she ain't black, as vice president. And now the whole country fucked the fuck up. The whole country. How the hell you bring in all these illegals and don't know where the fuck to put them? Just for votes. Because the dead folks voting didn't work. We done caught on to that bullshit. And now y'all gonna take all them children out of school. Why the fuck did y'all choose Chicago? So now most of them children are black children, gotta sit at home because y'all don't, man, y'all getting on my motherfucking nerves. Y'all sitting up there doing this shit to mostly minority black children, but Trump the racist. No, you motherfuckers are racist. I'm getting sick of this shit for real. I'm dead ass serious. Y'all better fix this shit. What about the fucking parents? All those black people that fund and keep the goddamn school open, they children gotta sit the fuck at home and they gotta figure out what the fuck to do. How the fuck they supposed to work? I'm telling you, Joe and Ho, y'all got to fucking go. I'm fixing to march to the fucking United States government. I'm for real. I'm fixing to join motherfucking Trump because ain't no way, Ho. Ain't no motherfucking way. Fix this shit now. Right motherfucking now.
So that wasn't what I thought it was. She's just literally in Dom Lucre's. She's just trying to get some of that sweet, sweet Dom Lucre coin. But that was a good, yeah, Quiet Night thought it's a performance, not a meltdown. Like that was a good little intermission. Oh, good. We have 9/11 conspiracies. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams, but tunnels can destabilize buildings. Wonderful. That's 10 minutes. I'm not listening to that, dude. Uh-oh. Somebody with a Jewish name and Israeli flag in his bio is talking against the narrative. I am very curious what everybody's going to post. We don't believe you. Oh, boy. No, this is seriously the Matt Walsh. Like, Matt Walsh isn't a conspiracy theorist, but he's so close to being it and enables this kind of thought. Like, while the quickness to end the investigation, it's like, not everything needs to be a public story for 10 weeks so that every other person can pick it apart. Like, maybe the people doing it, maybe the contractors who have to fill it in, just kind of want to do it and get on with their fucking lives. Blood-stained mattress. The tunnel was dug from an abandoned house that was often occupied by homeless drug addicts. Stained mattresses are something you'd find in a crack den. I live just a couple blocks away. Oh, this person is trying to fight the good fight. Vandalism and construction without a permit is all they're guilty of. See, and here's the other thing. So let's go and look at the Vice News article real quick. Because here's a really good summation of it. Hidden passageway beneath New York Shabbat building drives chaos and anti-Semitic conspiracy theories. A bizarre situation unfolding within the Orthodox Jewish Chabad Lubavitch movement is going viral in the wider world, driving a raft of anti-Semitic conspiracy theories online and reviving some of the oldest slurs against Jewish communities. At issue are a group of buildings that surround 770 Eastern Parkway in Brooklyn, New York, the world headquarters for the Chabad Lubavitch movement. At some point, when exactly remains unclear, a group of yeshiva students described as extremists by a spokesperson for Chabad Lubavitch are said to have knocked down walls between two adjoining buildings, 784 and 788 Eastern Parkway, to create a passageway that wasn't there previously. Attempts to repair the damage resulted in a brawl, a massive police presence, several arrests, and irresistible catnip for conspiracy peddlers. Wait, what? What are floof mother? What? Yeah, Kobold, thank you for the blood libel Twitter. Oh no, like those are the low end of the anti-Semitism spectrum I've seen on Twitter. Like, it has been, if you go, especially go into Dom Luker's mentions, it is unhinged. It is unbelievable. All right, let me. The local website Crown Heights Info reported on Monday that when a cement truck was brought in to repair and fill in the damage, a tense confrontation ensued between the NYPD and the students. A video, that was the one we've seen, shows an astonishingly chaotic scene of an Orthodox man emerging from the passageway into what appears to be a classroom or a sanctuary and being arrested while a group of men yell, overturn large tables, and run towards the police. The site reported that 10 men were ultimately arrested, and that one man, referred to as a bosher, a Hebrew word for a yeshiva student, attempted to pepper spray an NYPD officer. ABC New York had a slightly different number, reporting that 9 men were arrested and charged, while the Daily News said it was 12. Rabbi Modi Seligson, a Chabad spokesperson, published a statement on Twitter suggesting that the situation had been unfolding for some time and follows a long-running dispute and heated litigation over the property. The dispute is between the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters and a group of people within the community who manage the sanctuary, referred to as the Gaboim. Gaboim. Tea with Goblins, thank you for gifting a tier 1 sub to Duck Muncher. And I do apologize to anybody. While I've been doing a lot of research on Judaism, it's not... The main thing is the ch sound is actually a Hebrew glottal sound you may be familiar with. Is it... What word am I mispronouncing? I'm probably... Is it Chabad? Is it supposed to be Chabad? Chabad. Like that? L'chaim? Chabad Lubavitch? Is it? I need to know if I'm pronouncing it right. Okay, yes, cool. Thank 5-5. So, Hero, we'll get to the digging tunnels thing. Here we go. Some time ago, Seligson wrote, in part, a group of extremist students broke through a few walls and adjacent properties to the synagogue at 784 to 788, Eastern Parkway, to provide them unauthorized access. Earlier today, a cement truck was brought in to repair those walls. Those efforts were disrupted by the extremists who broke through the wall to the synagogue, vandalizing the sanctuary in an effort to preserve their unauthorized access. Lubavitch officials have attempted to gain proper control of the premises through the New York state court system. Unfortunately, despite consistently prevailing in court, the process has dragged on for years. This is obviously deeply distressing to the Lubavitch movement and the Jewish community worldwide. We hope and pray to be able to expeditiously restore the sanctity and decorum of this holy place. Bocher. Bocherm. I am sorry. I do apologize for my Hebrew pronunciation. The situation generated intense news coverage, and for some reason, a push notification sent by the crime reporting app Citizen. I, for instance, received a notification despite being in Los Angeles, nowhere near my particular relevant tunnel. Any particular relevant tunnel. In its notification, Citizen did not cite any reputable news source, but instead the Santa Monica Observer, a publication that traffics in fake and conspiratorial news alongside less polarizing news items about local restaurants, traffic accidents, and weather. Great. Cursed doll ad. Do I have a cursed? Oh, yeah, that's no good. Ooh, I totally missed that. Sorry. Temu ads and stuff have faded to the background. That is... I didn't notice that before. That's so awful. I really don't like that. Oh, Stu Peters, great. Stu Peters, also a anti-Semitic Holocaust denier. He's had a little powwow with Nick Fuentes about denying the Holocaust. Naturally, this news has proven powerfully interesting to conspiracy peddlers like Stu Peters, better known for trying to spread an unsuccessful conspiracy theory about COVID and snake venom, and for his role in promoting an equally polarizing and more successful COVID conspiracy documentary, Died Suddenly. In a series of tweets, the subtext of which could scarcely be missed, Peters referred to the passageway as New York City's Jew Tunnel, punctuated with the Star of David emoji, and noted that the high chairs had been discovered inside it. Given that the passageway, here's the important part that everybody seems to completely ignore. It ran under several buildings, which is what they're gonna get to here. And if you've ever been in any dilapidated area, I used to, when I was younger, probably middle school, high school, when I would get bored in the summertime, I would go exploring abandoned houses. And I do mean abandoned houses. And this was, I am so lucky I didn't get hurt or worse, because there were, it was basically, I had heard about, urban explorers and people like that, and I was like, that sounds cool. And so there was one or two houses that I would go to, and they were dilapidated, they were run down, but when they're abandoned, if squatters haven't set in, there's shit just everywhere. If they're truly abandoned. If squatters have set in, there's also shit just everywhere. And when people, then whether they're vagrants, whether they're houseless people, whatever, they take whatever they can to use to sleep, to use to cook, to use to, maybe do drugs. Who knows? So, saying that there's, what are the high chairs down there for? It's who knows? Did you see those high chairs? They were old as shit. When people are like, oh, there's a stained mattress down there. Yeah, it's running between several buildings underground New York. Somebody probably slept on it at some point. Hey. Dog. You are being a butthead. I am not into it. Can you stop, please? Here. There. Enjoy that. That's for you. I apologize for the bark. Yeah, no, at a rock art, they'll take furniture off the street or dumpsters. I don't know how it got in there, but there are so many. Darth Rex, I mean, there's mattresses. You go to anywhere where there is a large population. First off, massive civilian population in places like New York or Seattle. And you'll see it sometimes here. Spokane isn't the biggest city in the world, but you'll still see, there'll be mattresses. There's mattresses outside. I have a dumpster right outside my apartment, all the time. And people carry them everywhere. But the bigger cities you get, the more you have tent cities and the more you have encampments and stuff, you see that stuff even more. So I can only imagine a massive metropolitan center like New York has a lot of them. It's just... Here we go. Here's the real goal of the people who are pointing this out. In case his point was still not clear, Peters also tweeted falsely, quote, there seems to be a correlation between U.S. human trafficking and high Jewish population centers, which is not true at all, as Vice says here. I haven't read this, so I'm reacting as I'm reading. All of this, of course, a fairly obvious reference to anti-Semitic blood libel conspiracies, which have been used since the Middle Ages to justify violence against Jewish communities. A QAnon-promoting Telegram account with 30,000 followers and other less popular accounts went one step further, claiming that blood-stained mattresses were found in the passageway, which it referred to as a Jewish tunnel network. Again, there's evidence of one tunnel, not a tunnel network. Disney Jewgate. Disney has no connection to any of this whatsoever. It's unclear who the account holder was referring to as rats. Linking Jewish people to rats or other animals meant to provoke disgust or said spread disease is a noxious and common anti-Semitic trope. Oh boy. This is actually really interesting. Conspiracy theories about tunnels have radiated outwards from the Middle Ages on, built on blood libel foundations and threaded with the particular anxiety, prejudices, and urban legends of the time in which they are spread. Unfounded beliefs that evildoers are meeting in secret beneath the earth to ritually abuse children are remarkably durable. During the McMartin preschool case in the 1980s, which I had a whole thing prepared on, by the way, when we did the talk about the Satanic Church and Matt Walsh getting mad at the satanic sculpture. I had a whole thing prepared I wanted to do. Actually, I found some old documentary footage of the McMartin preschool trial. One of the most notorious satanic panic-driven prosecutions of the time, parents at the school became convinced that the alleged abuse of their children had been carried out in hidden tunnels beneath the school. Archaeologist E. Gary Stickle, hired by some of those parents, claimed the tunnels had been uncovered, along with, as he wrote, previously unrecognized structural features which defied logical explanation. In a review of Stickle's work, Joseph Wyatt, a professor of psychology, suggested that what was uncovered was far more likely to be remains of a rural trash pit that predated the school. During the first wave of the pandemic, rumors briefly abounded that trafficked children were being kept in tunnels beneath Central Park and treated in a temporary tent hospital that was set up by an evangelical disaster relief organization. Awesome, Kith. Thank you very much. Cheering 100 bit. He's going to have to go to sleep for the night, but here's some bits to help out. Good night, and thank you so much for bringing us this amazing content. Thank you for sticking around. Yeah, Targaj, that's another thing I put in there. That was originally said by Jean-Paul Sartre, said that if the Jews did not exist, the anti-Semite would invent them. Yeah, exactly. And this Vice article really lays it out nicely, because the thing around it, like so many of these conspiracies, isn't that this is interesting. It's the stuff around it is far more interesting. All of this provides a combustible foundation for the newest iteration of tunnel conspiracy theories. Prominent QAnon promoters like the self-styled journalist Liz Crokin, calling Liz Crokin a journalist is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Crokin spent much of Monday and Tuesday tweeting about the McMartin school case and alleged tunnels that notorious billionaire rapist Jeffrey Epstein had on his island. She also promised she was tracking the story of what was going on in Crown Heights. Also began circulating on Twitter, frequently accompanied by anti-Semitic cartoons, linked to videos by overtly anti-Semitic far-right content creators like Nick Fuentes, or graphic discussions of school abuse scandals in observant Orthodox communities in Brooklyn. The purpose was to claim falsely that Jewish communities are more prone than other religious communities to sexual abuse. So that is the... Oh, Bival, I bet it's so exciting. Like here's the thing. You might say being a conspiracy theorist is exhausting, and I bet it is to a certain point. Because, it's like what we were... When we were talking about the... not that long ago. The video we did last week on, calling Spider-Man 2, Freemason propaganda. And... what was the other one? It was Subnautica. The Lego movie was satanic and Luciferian in its teachings. On one hand, it's got to be exhausting to live that way, to not ever be able to just consume art on its own merits, because it has to be about something darker. It has to be, something deeper, trying to destroy your way of life. But on another hand, it's got to be so exciting to live in that world. You are living in a world where, anything can become a deeper, have a deeper meaning. Anything can mean that there are aliens or lizard people or any number of just batshit crazy explanations for the stuff happening. It's a, like, so many anti-Semitic conspiracies, so many just conspiracies in general are just more exciting ways to explain the world around us than the ones we have. Lydia Rose, I think I told you I'm researching gay persecution. You did. In the Holocaust, gay are often linked to Jewish people. Conspiracy theories overlap. Yeah, featuring the two overlap. Yeah, and a lot of that has to do... I mean, even today, you still see, a lot of it tied to George Soros and people freaking out about, like, oh, George Soros is funding, transgenderism affecting your kids, or, whatever dumb shit Alex Jones is going to say next. And it's stuff like that. Like, it is tied to... There is, in more blatantly anti-Semitic circles, people will just straight up say, oh yeah, Jews are trying to turn your kids gay, or for decades it's been, the line has been, Jews are trying to spread degeneracy through porn. Like pornography, all the pornographers are Jews, which is not true. And that is just extended to, they just want a new thing to label degeneracy, so it just extends to queer people. Krenna, I'm hoping to get on George's radar, as a trans person. I'm hoping this video on anti-Semitism will really get me those George Soros bucks rolling in, but we'll see. Base juice. Yeah, like, really, Hex, the word degeneracy is a, it's one of those words that you only use if you are a pile of garbage. Like, if that makes sense. Like, I have never heard somebody in modern parlance unironically use words like degeneracy. I better not. Yeah, I shouldn't go on. All right. I think that's about it. What else do we have? What else do we have going on in the world today? Mario Marufo is super chat of $5. I'm a little behind. Just wanted to say, Ari, the first story. What in the name of Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway? She does have Ebony Darkness Dementia Ravenway vibes, doesn't she? That's true. That's true. Pentagon psyop Taylor Swift. What? Yeah, Draxus Stormscale only as a self-identity. I heard it used when it wasn't fashy. But again, like, I feel like people would only self-identify as degenerate if, like, to piss off the fashy people saying it. Jesse Waters. All right, I gotta look this up. Pentagon pushes back against... I gotta see. This is so fascinating. Okay. File it under Shake It Off. All right, I gotta see what this actually. God, this dork. Yeah, you know what, Patrick W. Dune. Here's the thing. Degenerate is such a better word for that.
Our revenue more than doubled.
I mean,
Get
there's
out of
a
here.
lot of tools inside Guesty that help
Stop
us
it.
make sure that we're maximizing the money. Help us boost our revenue.
Oh, this video player is dog shit. I can't. I just play the damn video.
The biggest star in the world. Sorry, Gutfeld. She's been blanketed across the sports media entertainment atmosphere. The New York Times just speculated she's a lesbian. And last year's tour broke Ticketmaster. A tour that's revenue tops the GDP of 50 countries. I mean, I like her music. She's all right. But, I mean, have you ever wondered why or how she blew up like this?
Okay. So here's the thing, and I feel like I know where this is going, because this is something that I used to do this too, actually, in high school, and Matt Walsh still does it all the time, where my dog just started sneezing. I don't know if y'all heard that. That was my dog sneezing. They get so mad about like things that are popular that they don't understand, like things that aren't for them, you know? And Matt Walsh does this thing again. I used to do this in high school and I cringe thinking about it, but like talking about like, oh, how pop music isn't even real art and it's not even real music. And like you compare this old good stuff to this new bad stuff, which I still do mentally, by the way. I'm just not going to say it out loud because the Swifties will come for me. But no, like, and I'm not going to defend Taylor Swift because she's like a billionaire and doesn't need anybody to defend her. And also, if I'm being honest, I don't think she's good, like at all. Like even a little bit. I'm sorry. But I will say that while I do not like Taylor Swift, I can understand that there are people out there who do enjoy her music and do find value in the art she creates. I disagree. That's fine. Mostly, I just have other shit to do than getting mad about it. You know? Like when... Here's a perfect example. This is me saying my piece on Taylor Swift. I don't like her, but it's not for me. And I'm moving on. Whereas somebody like Jesse Waters has to make an entire video or an entire segment of his programming about it. And I know what this is going to be. This is going to be pop music bad. This is going to be pop music causing degeneracy and causing... The word degeneracy is just resting my brain now because we've been talking about it. And is causing the decline of society, and music back in the day used to be so much better. Is what I'm thinking. We'll see. We'll see.
Well, around 4 years ago, the Pentagon's Psychological Operations Unit floated turning Taylor Swift into an asset during a NATO meeting. What kind of asset? A PSYOP for combating online misinformation. Listen.
You came in here wanting to understand how you just go out there and counter an information operation. Well, the idea is that social influence can help encourage or promote behavior change, so potentially as like a peaceful information operation. I include Taylor Swift in here because she's, she's a fairly influential online person. I don't know if you've heard of her.
Yeah, that's real. The Pentagon PSYOP unit pitched NATO on turning Taylor Swift.
God, this is such a fucking nothing burger, dude. Oh, Maximum, congratulations on starting HRT. Like, this is... That is the kind of shit, first off, special operations, psychological warfare, PSYOPs have been going in other countries for literally decades. This is nothing new and it's not surprising. Second off, they suggested maybe possibly using Taylor Swift. That does not mean she is an asset.
Into an asset for combating misinformation online. This is nothing new. In the 1950s, the government strong-armed Louis Armstrong into doing propaganda tours across Africa. The CIA did the same thing with jazz singer Nina Simone, except they did it without her really knowing. In the 70s, Nixon enlisted Elvis in his war on drugs. He gave the king a badge and named him a covert federal law enforcement agent. Michael Jackson was tapped by Reagan, using his song Beat It in his public service campaigns against teen drinking and driving. Michael Jackson persuading minors not to drink. Anyway, so is Swift a front for...
I fucking hate this shit. I hate Fox News hosts. Like, everybody wants to be the next fucking... Like, Tucker wasn't even that good, but everybody wants to be the next Bill O'Reilly. And you can tell they've adopted that similar cadence and rhythm when they try and do jokes. Lulek, thank you very much for subbing at Tier 1.
A covert political agenda. Primetime obviously has no evidence. If we did, we'd share it. But we're curious. because the pop star who endorsed Biden is urging millions of her followers to vote.
Again, we have a case of them just coming out and admitting we don't have proof, just like we did with Matt earlier, where Matt was like, now, what are the races of these people? What are these people like? Are they diversity hires? We don't know. We have no way of knowing. But let's pretend like that's exactly what's happening. Yeah, it would be terrible if more people got to vote, wouldn't it? I bet you would really hate that, Jesse.
She's sharing links. And her boyfriend, Travis Kelce, sponsored by Pfizer. And their relationships boosted the NFL ratings this season, bringing in a whole new demographic. So how's the PSYOP going? Well, as usual, Biden's not calling the shots because he doesn't even know who Taylor Swift is. He's confused her with Britney Spears and Beyonce.
You could say even this harder than getting a ticket to the Renaissance tour or Britney's tour. She's down in, it's kind of warm in Brazil right now.
And no, he didn't. He said to the Renaissance tour or to Britney's tour.
Former FBI.
That's not the same. That's not the same. He didn't. Like, how are you going to lie at what he literally just said? Like, he's not a great speaker, and he does dodder a lot, but like, he literally just said to the Renaissance tour or, and then he stammered a little bit, to Britney's tour. Are you...
Agent Stuart Kaplan joins us now. Stuart, is this feasible?
Jesse, the deployment of a PSYOP in the United States in this day and age is still illegal. The national security law prohibits the deployment of PSYOPs or using an operative for psychological warfare. However, if I was run...
I'm sorry. This is great. This is art. $4.99 for Maximum. The HRT pills are yummy. Ooh, yes. I'm sorry. I'm a failed bit high right now. Who's the weasel looking dude in the video? That's Jesse Waters. Thank you, by the way, Maximum, for the $4.99. This is so funny watching these two guys discuss psyops and the legality of like CIA mind control operations. Like, this is fucking Black Ops. Like, he's going to ask Mason about the numbers here in a second, and we just have Taylor over here taking up more of the screen than these two jabrones. I can't.
Management perception.
Quiet Night Thought. Yes, there are hormone pills. My hormone pills are in tasty form. My estrogen are in it tastes kind of like sugar pills, I guess. Like they aren't sugar pills. They don't taste like sugar, but they have a very sweet texture because mine are sublingual. They go under the tongue.
Team, I would identify someone who would align themselves with my agenda, such as a Taylor Swift who has close to 600 million followers. I would target her, I would engage her, and I would get her to do what we used to see as like public service announcements. And that type of enlistment, that type of solicitation is analogous to the old days.
Oh my God, like public service announcements, that kind of enlistment. Taco Kagi, thank you very much for $5. I appreciate it. But she's just encouraging people to go vote, and she's not even encouraging people to vote blue. Like, she endorsed Biden, but she is just encouraging people to go register to vote. Like, to get people registered for the election season. Like,
of deployment of a PSYOP. And so in modern times, with these people having such influence and such, immeasurable amount of followers, she can potentially single-handedly swing voters because of just the amount of followers that she potentially can influence. So the answer is yes, Jesse.
Yeah, because when she posted the link to the vote.org, it's like hundreds of thousands of young Taylor Swift fans all of a sudden registered to vote. I wonder who got to her from the White House or from wherever.
Terrible. Like, that's the best you've got. Like, that's the best you can do. Like, registered to vote. How terrible. Like, what are you talking about?
Initial handshake. Is it the binder?
Well, the administration has what they consider a perception optics management team, and those are professionals that go out and identify those people who may be unsuspecting, whether with knowledge or without knowledge, to do these type of campaigns. Now, it is possible that Taylor Swift, quite frankly, does not know that she is being utilized in a covert manner to swing voters. But the bottom line is that the Biden administration is savvy, identifying how many followers
Yay,
and how
Echo
many
Bads,
voters
glad you're here.
potentially she can influence with either right information or misinformation. She certainly can swing the voters.
Okay, Stuart, thank you so much. I now know a lot more about Taylor Swift than I ever wanted to know. We appreciate it.
No, you don't. You still know fuck all. Don't worry. You still know next to nothing, Jesse. Like, what a... I can't believe it. $10 from Mighty Mulatto. Goodness gracious. Thank you so much, Mighty Mulatto. Tucker regurgitated watered-down Lothrop-Stoddard talking points from Attack on Civilization Rise, the Underman, fed to him by producers who were in supremacist forms. None of it is original. Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about his ding-dong white supremacist writer. Lucas Matias del Agua, McDonald, hot take, they want young people to not vote. No, you're definitely right. Like, you're definitely right. It feels like they are mad. Like, it's no revelation that Fox News by now especially appeals to a older demographic than most other like forms of news, because young people get their shit from influencers. They get their shit from, especially on the conservative side, they'll get it from the Daily Wire, they'll get it from Nick Fuentes, they'll get it from other dickheads, not Fox News. Fox News is for your grandparents. So they are playing into that by like spreading fears of like, oh, the young kids are voting, because Fox News also spreads fears about millennials and everything else, millennials and zoomers, and like the young kids, they're dyeing their hair, the young kids, they're voting, the young kids, they're in their 30s now. Like it's part of their MO to do that. Like that's not surprising at all. But it is still like just a little bit funny. It is just a little bit funny. They don't want anyone under the age of 60 to vote. True. Oh boy. All right, that was a good one. What else do we got? We got oh, did we let's talk about this real quick, because I haven't I don't know. Let's do some cooldown. Let's do some cooldown. I'm probably coming up on the end of a stream. Sorry. I was planning on streaming for 4 hours, but I have been I did literally like 6 hours of research, and because the video I'm working on is almost done, but I had to find a lot of stuff to actually, like, now that I've researched all the words in the script, I have to do a ton of researching for videos and stuff. So I got all that today, but it was a 6 hour process. This is the first time I've caught one of your streams live, and I'm happy to see someone else in Spokane is created on YouTube. Spokane is the Florida of Washington. Yes, that is so true. So regrettably true. What do we have? Do we have some palate cleansers in the chat? I know some of you guys have to have some good palate cleansers. Volk, I recall a time going to school in Texas and being kicked out over a non-naturally occurring hair color, despite my hairdresser using a shade of red I already had on my head. That is insane to me. Lil QC, Dead Domain, it also suggests that Fox editors are likely worried about higher voter turnout in 2024. Anything that appears like it'll upraise voter turnout is going to be attacked historically. Repubs have always done worse in elections when turnout is high. Yeah, no, that's like for sure. No Rickroll tonight. Crow, I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Any Mad TV clips? Very Tall Bart. Yeah, let's see. Let's go check out some Very Tall Bart stuff. Scary Pierogi, are there 2 to 3 Spokanites here? Well, I mean, also statistically, there's 419 people between two things. Ooh, do we want to? Do we have it in us to what? Let's. Willie Schlanka, thank you very much for subscribing. Dark Matter 2525. All right.
Dear friends, I'm truly honored to finally have the great psychiatrist.
This art style bugs me for some reason. I'm sure it's like fine, but there's something about this that is like Adventure Quest. My brain froze trying to think of it. It feels like early 2000 Flash game. Meanwhile, he is doing like a Morgan Freeman impression. But anyway, let's check this out.
Dr. Porton Jeterson on the show.
Very good. Okay, I got you.
To ask, first and foremost, what is your favorite ice cream?
My God, that's a hell of a question. A hell of a question. And let me tell you, entire nations have balanced on a knife's edge, and whether they would continue on that precarious journey or fall into the abyss so eloquently elucidated by Nietzsche has hinged on that very question. So I gotta tell you, it depends on what you mean by what's, and what you mean by your, and what you mean by favorite, and what you mean by ice cream. Because if you think we can approach this examination of ice cream with a Lockean tabula rasa perspective rather than something more akin to a Jungian archetype, then you're bloody kidding yourself, Buster. We can't just be throwing these words around all willy-nilly like the Marxist, nihilist, postmodern, communist, anti-hierarchical, leftist, progressive, woke moralists who would destroy all truth and meaning if they could, without an objective grounding, that clearly defines ice cream. Like, this is what ice cream is. This is the qualia of what we know to be ice cream. Then my God, how would we know if we're eating ice cream or a 6-month-old baby? We can't simply,
There's so many good Jordan Peterson impressions and clips because there's really no way, as long as you lean into how ridiculous his pattern of speech is, there's almost no way to do a bad one because it's just so batshit. You can almost say anything and it would sound like something he would say. It's so incredible.
This and hope it goes away, bucko. When Dostoevsky said much unhappiness has come into the world because of bewilderment and things left unsaid, he was 100% right. This can't be left unsaid, so lay it on me, Jack.
Dog.
So, like chocolate?
You son of a bitch.
I'm sorry.
That's one hell of a can of worms you're trying to open here.
I didn't mean to.
A hell of a can, I gotta tell you.
Dr.
Do
Jeterson.
you have any idea how many totalitarian regimes have risen on the idea of imposing a particular flavor of ice cream?
It can't be a lot.
Well, that's where you're wrong, bucko. I just want to eat meat and pills, and for you to leave me the hell alone.
Well, there you have it, dear friends. The great psychologist and best-selling author, Dr. Porton Jeterson, who has helped countless young men with his most important rule, which is to straighten out your own life before you try to fix the lives of others.
Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's do a Tall Bart video. I feel like we need some palate cleansers after how long and dark this entire journey tonight has been. Ooh, PragerU rocks. Let's do it. Oh, hell yeah.
I'm Miss Prager. As the great British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher put it, the truths of the Judeo-Christian...
Why do you hate conservatives? Well, they don't believe in climate change. Intolerant. Ban abortion. They oppress people of color and deny the fact that America concerned about systemically racist people. They're the bad guys. It's not much more complicated than that. On abortion, we can agree that no one likes babies. How are we ever going to stop babies if we don't get babies off the streets? However, they see a human being growing in a man's womb as innocent and vulnerable. Those babies deserve to be racist.
Hey, Hitler. Hey, Hitler. Why are you pulling down our fence? I'm Ronald Reagan, our 40th president. And I guess that means you're here to tear down Black America. You got it. What the heck, Leo? Did you know that Ronald Reagan was one of our presidents? Did you know that he's gay, Leo? Yeah. Boy, I sure wish I could fuck Ronald Reagan. Well, why can't you? Because he passed away in 2004 when he was 93 years old. Jeez, Leo.
I can come without using my hands. It's really everything. First of all, it's so hot. And secondly, good stuff. I just came out of the closet as a puppy. Make a note of it. Write it down. Thank you. I love this.
If I told you a story about a kid who grew up black, product of divorce, did a lot of dumb stuff, sister ran away at age 44. If I told you that kid was black, you'd go, well, yeah, you just said he was black. But if I told you that kid was me, you'd go, well, yeah, you're black. If you're willing to die, I would let you bust your nut in my a-hole.
Wow, I can't believe I actually went back in time.
Did someone say my name?
No. Hey, Mr. Reagan, can I ask you some questions?
No, Leo.
Why is it called the Cold War anyway?
I don't know, Leo. Get away from me.
What are you doing here?
I'm here in Berlin to shoot nuclear bombs at poor people without jobs.
Ugh, I hate communists.
You're absolutely right, Leo.
You're amazing, Mr. Reagan. You saved everyone's lives and made them better at the same time.
No.
God, I can't. Getting like even secondhand like I know what fucking Dennis Prager's broadcast sound like. It sound like every other, like, we have the best way of life and America is the best, like, bullshit. But seeing this stuff is so clearly, explicitly aimed at children, that is like a child literally saying, wow, you made everybody's life better and saved everyone, Ronald Reagan. It's so fucking bonkers.
Leo.
The left has made it impossible to say the N-word any longer. That's disgusting.
When did being normal get canceled? What makes me normal? I'm in a monogamous marriage.
Until death do us part.
I'm a proud, normal sexual. I'm only attracted to minimum men, women my age, and goats. When did having sex with goats get canceled?
There are few things worse than being Michael Knowles. Better to be nothing, better to be dead, better to be anything.
I didn't do a Dennis Prager impression. Did I? No, I didn't. There's no way. I couldn't have.
Michael Knowles wants to touch kids, and every citizen has an obligation to fucking murder Michael Knowles. That is acceptable behavior. The man, the myth, the mammoth, Penis Prager.
I did not want to do this.
You may worship me.
No way. You're 100% ugly.
And what do you mean by the,
You have the ugly.
I really didn't know.
I love the jacket semi-naked in women's clothing. That's just a fact.
You are not the one who matters here. You are directing the attention to me.
I am sorry to say white women never beating the dog allegations.
Hey, buddy, listen. Balls. I know, I promised to play with your balls. You can't bust inside. You know the rules. Fuck. This story is about fuck. No.
Oh my god. Oh. Fascist states wish they had propagandists as devoted and effective as these such. Wait, Patrick W. Dune. Oh, Patrick W. Dune, whatever you do, don't look up the white woman dog allegations.
Once upon a time, in the land of Palestine, there was trouble. An army of men and women called Israel invaded the kingdom. King Saul gathered his army to defend.
Oh God, very
his
tall
heirs.
Bart.
He can't beat us. We are on God's side. Goliath spotted Saul approaching.
Are you going to hit me?
The giant bellowed. Israel fled in terror, and Palestine continued to live in their land.
Why does the left hate Israel? It doesn't make sense. Israel is a paradise. Israelis are considered people, and Palestinians are considered terrorists.
I'm Penis Prager.
Instead of evaluating Israel on the basis of murdering babies, consider making a tax-deductible donation. Adam's Country Barbecue. I have to say, your extreme barbecue chicken is neither chicken nor extreme. I like pita, Griffin.
All right, let's go. We got a couple more on here.
The funniest jokes are actually the ones where you laugh.
Timing's everything.
Timing is absolutely everything.
When I was 1 year old, I kind of discovered like Dane Cook, Ashton Kutcher.
Oh God, I don't know who that. Oh, was this that one dickhead who just went viral? I discovered Dane Cook and Ashton Kutcher. Ugh. Matt Rife, yes, that fucking ding dong. Does Ammon Animations have anything new out? I haven't seen their stuff in a minute. See, y'all are lucky I'm not terminally online, because I go into everything almost new. Wait, no, that's the same thing I already did. Yeah, it looks like Matt Rife. He just has a very punchable face. Like, he seems like the bad guy in every, like, pre-2005 superhero movie. Okay, that does sound very nice. I will get to that after this one.
Sure. Peter Griffin's couch killers on stage.
Oh my God, you have no sense of humor.
You cuck.
Correct me if I've got this wrong, but I think your big fat head's gonna get hit with a sledgehammer in about 15 seconds.
Oh God.
So it's good to see you again, Sam.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So I thought, well, you just put your finger in my ass and put your foot firmly on the head of my penis, which is what the postmodernists do. And so the first thing I'm curious about is what's good, bitch.
I want to do it.
Yeah. Well, I want to tape on people's faces, obviously, but I'm afraid of normal people. They've always made me very uncomfortable ever since 9/11.
Slavery is wrong.
Okay. So here's the problem with that.
Wow. I'm Billy. Does anybody care? America first, Romania first, God second, Serbia third. Sorry, Taiwan. Have a nice day. I have just stuffed a cigarette in my pee. Is that wrong? TMI. And now the bass.
So, Sarah, I watch women like a dweeb because, what would you say? I like to defeat. Could that be a consequence of excess masturbation?
Yeah, no, that's kind of sus.
So, Sarah, you made hydrogen bomb and you regret it. Maybe not. Maybe I've got that wrong. Maybe I've got that wrong. It doesn't matter.
Hi, everyone. I'm Penis Prager. This is the Fart
Wow.
Side Chat. Let's see. What else? Yeah, I think that's those are the points that I wanted to make.
I fucking love. And now the bass. Oh.
Let's discuss what we're doing with Peterson Academy.
Hey, why don't you introduce it?
I think most people know that you do.
Oh God, I fucking forgot about Peterson Academy. I'm so excited for that. Oh man. What a pile of nonsense that's gonna be. Hey, does everybody want to see my skinless Godzilla toy that I just got yesterday?
Personality course a number of years ago, which was wildly successful. Made a bunch of money, and I'm, motivated by that. Made a bunch of money. It also taught people. Made a bunch of money. So I thought, well, we should do that. And then I thought, we could do that for other people.
Okay, so this is a little restaurant, a little diner by our house. And I liked going there for breakfast. I used to bring my graduate students there, and we'd have breakfast there.
Yeah.
And we had meetings that were very productive, and that breakfast with
Peterson quote I just quoted came from the intro to the videos of the wonderful Savvy Writes books on YouTube. Go follow her. She rocks. Not only a writer, but debunks right-wing something BS too. Ukrainian, I don't know if you know, we did a collab with Savvy Writes books. I did a video with her a month or so ago. And we may or may not have another one coming up that I can't talk about yet.
was excellent. The bacon was actually made out of pork instead of whatever the hell you make bacon out of when you don't have a pig. And the orange juice was like made out of oranges. It was good, and so I liked coming there. And I liked the woman. She's hardworking, immigrant woman, and the potatoes were fresh. They were cooked crispy and golden, and not brown and soggy and horrible and old and sometimes rotten, because you can do all those if you really want to. And they had a great cook, and I worked as a short order cook for.
Listening to him is like listening to somebody talk through a dream. Like when you're not listening to a predetermined thing that people are clowning on and they're calling out as like a meme, up yours woke more or less. Like when you're not listening to one of those, he has this I feel like I'm listening to him through the phone in control, Like I'm listening to the other side, the oldest house, shit.
For years, and knew the difference between how to cook, hash browns properly and improperly. And then they brought in this new guy, and it was like second rate. I went in and told him what was wrong in detail, why this didn't work, and what he could do instead, and he might as well do it right. No, man, that's not breakfast. That's hell. And so that's what I did. Yeah.
Ooh.
This is in. Yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh. So yeah. All right.
He's such an uninteresting. When you really listen to him, he's not an interesting person to talk to, which I think is why he goes so far out of his way to really inject big words and big concepts and stuff. Even if he does understand them, it doesn't really help even liven him up at all. Oh, Patrick W. Dune, Control is great. Go watch my video essay on Control. I still don't think I can make any money on it because I used music in it. What was I doing? No, I recut the music. I should make money on it. What was I doing? Not Very Tall Bart. Who is the other guy we were talking about? Ammon. Ooh, Steven Crowder's Nightmare. I don't think I've seen that one. Let's see what the most recent is. Yeah, I haven't watched the crowd. I went right after I got off stream. I watched a ton of them in the background that night. But it was over 2 months ago that we watched all those. So let's watch. Ooh, really quick, I'm gonna show you Skinless Godzilla. So, because I've been excited for the new Godzilla movie, my partner texted me yesterday and was like, hey, I'm at Target. Dog, can you not? Thank you. No. Hey, you're being a butthead. Stop it. Okay, that's enough. You are being so spoiled. In kitchen, come on. Good girl. Yeah, you know the rules. You know the rules. My dog is so funny. She like knew she crossed a line too. She was like, as soon as she did that and jumped up on me, she was like, okay, I'll go in the kitchen. Oh yeah, no, you guys haven't been seeing my Carlock shirt? I want my mommy shirt. And then, oh goodness, my pop filter just fell off. See what you did, dog? Made my pop filter fall off. She is a Quiet Night Thought. She is a pit lab. Oh, thank you, B. Parker. I just put my Elvira figure there. My Elvira figure, and then this Ghidorah I just got today too. But no, my partner went to Walmart and they have the new Godzilla Kong toys. I got Monkey with punching glove. This is actually a really good Kong too. Like the sculpt is really nice. The paint's pretty good. And he has robot glove, which is very cool. I think that's very neat. I had to get the Evolved Godzilla, which is all very nice and translucent. It's actually pretty good. It's just like for $10, these figures are A-okay. Like Playmates has been doing it up. And then I had to get this. Oh, she is at a rock art. She is the snuggliest, sweetest dog. This boy. And you may notice some dimensional variation between this Godzilla and some others. Because he's got kind of buff arms and a unique looking head. That's because this is a Titan Evolution Godzilla. And you can do this to him. You can do this to him. You pull the skin off of his body like a surgical glove. And he sheds, and underneath is a new Godzilla. A slightly smaller, different Godzilla is inside. Which is very goofy and silly, and it's one of the weirdest gimmicks I've ever seen on a toy. Because it's hard to describe the texture of this thing. It's almost like a Halloween mask, but it's all molded. Like the shape of it's actually like fairly well molded. And I think I'm getting it back to a point where it fits on pretty snugly. It was a bitch to get back on though. First thing I did was take it off. Take off the Godzilla. It's like he's wearing a Godzilla suit. And so it's like this like very ill-fitting just mess over the body. It's like you have these like pudgy weird arms and this like big flap in the chest that doesn't stay. It's so strange. Oh man, Scary Pierogi, that would be so good if he had a third Godzilla inside of him. I think Godzilla was inside of us all along though. Like we all know the real Godzilla was inside of us. And like you can kind of, I think my favorite part of him is that you can play with the face because it's so stretchy and you can move it around. Like, so you can like move it around like the Mario 64 like Mario face a little bit. Get a little different style going. Just kind of like yank him a little bit. Give him a long neck if you want. Like do a little twist. Yeah, this is a very strange, like, goofy toy. It's a very goofy toy. So those are all my Godzilla X Kong. And then I got the one I had pre-ordered because I had to get it. Is the big evolved Godzilla. Which I did the same thing when the last... So the thing that allows me to get these is that they're pretty cheap. In the realm of toys, all the Playmates Godzilla toys are relatively cheap, so I save up for them. Which is the same thing I did with the Godzilla V Kong toys. I have a bunch of those. I actually have... Here's my Godzilla V Kong. Can't really see it translucent, but Hong Kong Attack Godzilla with battle damage action. Brr. Anywho. These are my... I should do a toy... I'm just saying, I should do a toy stream at some point and just show off toys. Yeah, this is my Cacodemon squish. My squishy Cacodemon. Caco on stream, let's go. What else do I got on here? I got my... This is another one I got recently. Oh god, Elvira, don't fall. I got the Thing Dog that NECA just put out that I was very happy with. And it actually came with 2 figures, so I was really excited. I thought it was just one that you could customize, but it's like 2 with a whole bunch of stuff. Who else do I have back here? I have Jeff the Shark. I got this at a toy show for like $1. Because I like Jeff the Shark. And I think Jeff the Shark is very cute. I have this is my, for all my kaiju heads out there, this is my Baragon. And he is so tiny. I thought he was so much bigger from the picture. Look at how I could eat this thing. Look how tiny it is. But I love this Baragon from GMK. This is a little vinyl thingamabob from Japan. What else do I have? I have a bunch of stuff over here. I don't know why I have so much. I mean, I know why. I have stuff to be my background here on stream. I have toys that I play with when I'm streaming also. Do I have the IKEA shark? Of course I have a Blahage. Like, what are you talking about? Oh yeah, sorry. Mario, I think you were pretty far back there. Do I have any Darkstalkers characters? Yeah, I have Darkstalkers. I have my Felicia art. You can't see it because here, let me move the camera over a little bit. My Felicia art is right here on the wall. I have a comic book, a variant cover that is done up, and I have some Morgan statues pre-ordered, and then I have a Morgan figure over there as well. What is your Blahage's name? My Blahage's name is just Blahage. I have one Blahage. Why would I have multiple Blahage? I have one Blahage. I have one Blahage, and I occasionally call it my Blahostage because one of my partners like to sleep with things, and so they will just take my Blahostage. Morgan for Dragon Age. No, Morgan from Darkstalkers. I have a bunch of... I don't know if I can... The problem with doing a stream from here is that I don't have any way to show off all the toys that I have. Because I have so many things. I have tons of Godzillas. I have a couple She-Ras. I have some old Resident Evil toys. I have some Transformies. Oh, I actually got Do we have Transformy fans in the house? No Steel Blush. Yes, Miss is she is hungry. All right, Crovey, you're gonna like this one, I think. Give me a second. Here is my the Volcanicus that I've been working on all year, trying to find all the different pieces. And I actually found all of them. I didn't have to get them at... Oh, shit. I didn't have to get all of them online or anything. I actually found all of them at my local Target and even got good deals on some of them. And then I actually got an upgrade kit for the feet and arms because I've never had an upgrade kit before, but I was like, man, I've been looking for this guy for so long. I want him to look so cool. And then I got proper arms and legs, and he looks like just savage. So I'm very thrilled with this Volcanicus. I love how I'm not even showing it off on camera. And I gave him a different axe. This is Optimus's axe. Why did your arm keep falling off, buddy? That one arm is a little bit loose. I know, that's what I'm saying. See, and I've never done, I don't do a lot of Transformers because Transformers are super stupid expensive. What else do I have? Like, Transformers are one of the most expensive commodities in the world, and here's I have a little Duke Nukem figure I also got recently from a local used toy store that came complete from 1997, I think. It's not a great figure, but he looks really cool. Like, he has a Devastator, he has the Freeze Ray, and he has 2 SMGs and a knife, and like, it's, again, not a great figure, but he does look nice, so I can't complain too much. Oh, I also have... How did I pull up Duke, but not... Sorry, now I'm just looking through all my toys, being like, what can I show off on stream? Resaurus. Yes, it's a Resaurus Duke Nukem. And I actually I'm selling some of them, but my Resaurus Quake 2. I have some Quake 2 figures too. But speaking of Quake 2, here's and Resaurus Duke, here's my Pig Cop from Duke Nukem with the Quake 2 double shotgun. Dreamy Tea Party Princess, we are just checking out... Oh, I guess his mouth closes. I didn't know that. And these are good figures, but except for I have the Battle Lord, and that might be one of the worst toys I own. Bort kills One Leg Man. Yes, give me one sec. I have 2 Hot Wheels. And they're only because I have... All right, and also I need to show off this. This is one of my favorite Godzillas. I love him so much. Look at him. He's chasing a little ducky. This is one of my favorite vinyl Godzillas. And I would do anything for him. Little guy. Tiny baby. I do have... What was I just showing off? Somebody asked... Do I have Hot Wheels? Yes, I have 1 Hot Wheels over here. Behind my evil Lynn. Oh, God. No, shit. Here's my evil Lynn. Ah. Ooh. And speaking of Transformers, I forgot I also have these. Which, I know, you think, Jordan, that looks like a Happy Meal. But, haha, you fool. It is, in fact... How do I do this? Yep, there it is. Do I have any bionicles? Get out of here. Of course I have bionicles. A dinosaur. A Happy Meal transforms into a dinosaur. Ever mess with Legos? Do I ever mess with Legos? Okay. Mario Marufo has super chatted $5. Okay, now I'm on the Jesse Water stories. He's bad / ridiculous, but ever heard of Operation Mockingbird? Think they ever stopped that? Either yes or no. I'm going to say probably not, knowing the United States government, but they would tell you yes. So one, I have two. All right, real quick, 2 Hot Wheels, and then I'm going to show off a big thing that I've built for, I have the game store on Broadway. I'll have to check that out. Thank you, Dina Willen. 2 Hot Wheels, really quick, because I have to go grab one. I have, and I have them both in protective cases. I have my Nissan Skyline Godzilla version, which has the little Godzilla print on the side, and I have a Godzilla that holds this. And then the Monster High Ghoulmobile. And I put this with my Monster High girlies. So, yes, I do have... I've literally just 2. Just 2. But let me go... And let me really quick see if I can redo my camera. Or let's do a... wider view. I'll be right back. So, because someone asked if I do Legos, here is a custom build I did. I call it the Shipwreck Island. I made this all by myself. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch. I've packed on some extra characters over time. But it's a little bit hard to see, but you can kind of see inside the ship is a tavern that is connected to a cave. There is a whole back part that is a cave. Like it's crashed into a rock edge. And then, of course, there's a pirate captain at the top with a map and some loot and a parrot. There's like a broken fuselage. And the whole 9, there's a little dock that's been made out the back. And you can peer across the deck, or what remains of the deck. There's all sorts of fun goodies that you can find on the beach. There's a little pirate man cooking a fish. No, I won't drop it. Yes, so do I mess with Legos? I don't know. You tell me. Yes, I do have one Pirates of the Caribbean figure that I got in a random figure lot. So Elizabeth Swann is just hanging out there. Also, damn, this is getting dusty. Oh, and I forgot I have like a little skull with a candle. Man. Yeah, this is one of my all-time favorite builds that I've done. I even have a classic 90s pirate flag at the very tip of it. And if I can do it really, I think it's just one piece. We'll see. Nope, it's 2 pieces. Okay. That's what it was. Elizabeth was holding it down. The piece de resistance is that the build can be displayed one of 2 ways. Either this way, forward facing, or depending on how you want your ship crashed, this way. So you can see straight into the back into all the areas. And it displays with a alternate, like, kind of more tavern-y looking setting. And that all works because I built it with a multi-part hinge down the back. And then so I can just, like, if I want it like that, I can do it like that. Or if I want it the other way, and just flip it around like that. So I will let me just lock the piece back. There you go. And so now I just put the thing back so it doesn't wiggle open really quick. So yes, this is my shipwreck island. I will be right back. I'm gonna go put her back on the shelf. Also, one other Lego thing to show off, and I took pieces from this so it doesn't look as good as it used to, but I made this little diorama for my, this complete 80s castle ship I made. Or I didn't make this. This is a classic, like, Lego old castle set, and I had to go find and buy a new sail for it. But otherwise, I'm pretty sure it's all complete, and it has all the knights and the classic castle figgies in there and everything. But I made a little wave for the Vikings to be cresting here. So that is what that is. And I took pieces from it at some point so it doesn't look as good as it used to. It used to look way more complete as like a wave thing, but I don't know. I still like it. Oh shit. Okay. I almost forgot one of my last favorite sets. Okay. I realize this has gone on really long. I apologize for that. My last favorite custom set I did. I was really bummed at the time that they didn't have... I really liked the design and presentation of a lot of the Star Wars, the collector Star Wars, the vignettes that they do with like the black box design around everything. And I wanted to kind of make my own. Gosh, this is dusty. This has been sitting back there for a minute. And it occurred to me a really cool one to do would be one that would be like a lot smaller. You know, like not something super huge or big. So I made, in the style of the Lego Star Wars vignettes, and I even made them line up with the way the other ones are made, and there's a little plaque to put Star Wars on. So this is the Episode 3 duel as a little, God, not a vignette, what's the word I'm looking for? Diorama. And along with that, to put as a complete set, the classic Darth Vader hallway duel in Episode 4 as seen through the doorway. And it's not done yet. because I put attachments in the bases so they can be attached as one piece. And I wish that the Darth Vader one was a little bit risen up a little bit, but otherwise... What else do I have? I have a bunch of shit here. Yeah, no, dudes, I got tons of just random stuff that I pick up because when I go to toy shows, I get little things from like dollar bins, and so yeah, so now like there you go. The clear thought and care you put into them is amazing. Nah. You were as good as Lego says you are, Fruity. Thank you. No, and I haven't built anything original in a while. Like, I build every now and again still, but, like, I've been so busy with work. I haven't even been able to play Baldur's Gate 3. I've been, like, just so busy working on the videos and everything. And I would really love to... Aeon, Reflux, can we go support your work in a dollarly way that doesn't take out a huge percentage? Ko-Fi. If you go to my Twitter... or go below any of the videos, it should have Ko-Fi links. And Ko-Fi is a really quick way to just throw stuff at me. But like other little cool bits I've snagged is I have a Mortal Kombat Deception Sub-Zero action figure, which is not a great, he looks cool, but he's not a great figure. Like really not a great figure. But I do love me some Mortal Kombat. And then like this little bizarre little Ghostbusters man who can do this. He goes Anywho, sorry about the got any ponies? No, I do not. I've come close to buying ponies a couple times though. Mostly because they're for other things. Like, I've come close to buying ponies from, I think they had some Ghostbusters one that I was like, Haunted Paul Blart. Yeah, no, odds are I probably have, like, most of something. If anybody wants to, coffee, it might be coffee instead of Ko-Fi. I just call it Ko-Fi. Yeah, thank you guys for indulging my autistic... My partner says I'm autistic. I don't think so. I feel like every time I say that, it's around something that feels very thank you very much, sadly Shobin. I'm so sorry. I'm not good with Gaelic or Celtic. Every time I say yeah, exactly. Quiet Night Thought. I think Ko-Fi like lo-fi. That's what I think. It's like it feels like that Parks and Rec bit with what's his face where he's like, could a depressed person make this? As I'm holding up my my custom Star Wars Lego diorama. Could an autistic person make this? You're definitely ND coded. Oh no, I've been taking ADHD meds since I was like 6. Have you played Alan Wake 2? Yes, I loved Alan Wake 2. You are autistic. Thank you, EA on Reflex. The toy showcase was a great palate cleanser. I'm glad. I won't push my luck and show you guys even more dorky shit that I have. Oh yeah, somebody was asking about PS2 games. I do have PS2 games behind the action figures. I've got, what do I got back there? I got, oh, let me remove all my, I have a whole bunch of symbiote figures here. I have the original Silent Hill, Silent Hill Origins, Silent Hill 4, X-Files, Resistor Serve, banger. A bootleg copy of Kuon that doesn't work, Clock Tower 3, Dark Watch, Ghost Rider, Evil Dead Regeneration, Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks, Grand Theft Auto Vice City, King Kong, and Rule of Rose. But Rule of Rose isn't mine. And then I have PS1. Yeah, I have 2 games for PlayStation 1. I have Shadow Man and Evil Dead Hail to the King. And then, of course, I have my massive stacks of Xbox 360 games. Oh, Evil Dead Regeneration hits. Evil Dead Hail to the King is mid, but I think the worst one is the second one. God, what is it? Evil Dead Fistful of Boomstick is like not great. Mave Money, I've been meaning to Sergeant Crispy, who's been in the chat, actually sent me his copy of Rule of Rose, and I've been meaning to play it and make content on it and send it back. And I don't think I'm going to get to that for like months because I really want to sit down and like give it. It's a game I've wanted to play for years, and I've been unable to. All right, let's watch Steven Crowder's Nightmare really quick while we're all in a happy mood. Let's get back down to earth for a second. Yeah, they call me the Fizz. It's basically a really weird state of emergency mod. It has like, it's so, not that a lot of those games, like games from that time are just kind of generally thin comparatively, but it like there's like nothing to that game. And it feels like you wander around a lot. But I do love like Regeneration. That's a hell of a game. Oh no, I shouldn't be muted. Not muted for you? Okay, all right, cool.
Okay. Right. All right, let me check this.
Ah!
All right, I'll give you a countdown and then I'll...
God, I love him. Yeah, I played Manhunt 2. I have Manhunt 2 on my Vita, I think. Because it was on PSP, so I believe I downloaded it to my Vita. Yeah, Manhunt. Oh, Harley Fox, thank you very much for just sending me that. I appreciate that. If you're in chat, I'm assuming you are. That's so sweet. I really want... I would like to play Manhunt 2 all the way to completion, but every time I try playing it, because I've played it on Wii, I've played it on PS2, and I've played it on PSP, and every time I start it up, it's just like, it doesn't have the... I don't know, it doesn't have the sauce. Like, it doesn't have the juice that first one does, and I really don't like... Is Resident Evil good? What? Joe, what do you mean, is Resident Evil good? What kind of question is that? Sorry, that was a really visceral reaction. I apologize for that, first off. But what do you mean by that? Is Resident Evil good? Yes, Resident Evil is good. Wait, do you mean like the first Resident Evil or just like Resident Evil in general, or what's up? If you know nothing about Resident Evil, I would play Resident Evil 4 first. No, Resident Evil, not Resident Evil 4. Play Resident Evil 7 first and then go from there. Because depending if you like Resident Evil 7, go to Resident Evil 8, and then from there, go check out the rest of them. Yes, the answer is yes. I saw the movies. Oh, buddy, if you've only seen the movies... Honestly, here's the thing. If you've only seen the Resident Evil movies and that's all you know of it, go into the games, because it's like nothing like the movies. Like literally nothing like them. They're completely unrecognizable. Yeah, okay, let's finish this one. Sorry.
3, 2. All right, okay, I'm really glad to have
Resident Evil 4 remake is so goddamn good, though.
I respect people who enter into the arena. And we've had a lot of debates on this show, which is different from like a change my mind when we sit down and have conversations. But I do appreciate the guy making the time, because a lot of people haven't. You know him, some of you like him, some of you don't. Same can be said for me. Ethan Klein from H3H3. Ethan, thanks, man, for making the time.
You're very welcome, and I just want to say, I know you called me, you said that I would be a layup.
I think I used something like that. Yeah.
I think you're right, because I don't think I'm a very good debater. I think you know that. So I didn't want to make it too easy for you.
Oh, okay.
So I've prepared.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So what we were going to talk about is the initial quote that happened. I think he's looking off there. The initial quote that kind of was turned into a little bit of a meme, which wasn't intentional, and was you saying you don't even.
I didn't even. Is that why somebody brought up Resident Evil, because Chris Redfield is in this? TD Draven, thank you very much for joining. Have a good night.
Going to have to think about it regarding the CDC. And I disagree with that. I think people should think about it. I believe, and we talked about this through Playful Ribbing, in an aggregation of medical authorities and scientific voices to make an informed and rational decision. So where do you think that I'm wrong on that?
Steven, do you know that the Spartans are like practice man love with children?
Oh, geez. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. What did I tell you? He was going to do anything he could to avoid. Oh, there he is. Oh no, Sam Cedar. What a fucking nightmare. Come on, Steven.
Wow.
Oh, God.
I think we need to have a meeting with his dad.
Irony alert, Steven. Stop being a bitch. Stop being a baby. Come on, Steven. I think he lost the right to those holsters. I think he has to retire them.
Oh, sweetie. What kind of a pussy am I talking to? What happened to you? Bro, it was a dope movie and you're a fucking communist. Can't wait for Avatar 2.
Cold feet again.
Mr. Scratch checks under his bed for Sam Cedar. It just became like Death Stranding.
You're acting kind of weird today.
Oh, that's so good. For those who don't know, Steven Crowder was a voice actor on the Arthur show. Steven Crowder is a failed actor, and one of his roles was on the Arthur show before he became a conservative grifter.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies? Sniff. And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you can learn to work and play and get along with each other.
Oh man. I haven't heard the Arthur theme in so long. Oh my god. I was like, wait, why do I know that? Oh my god, that's classic. Oh, I love that. That's so good. Lucas Matias del Agua McDonald super chatted 690 hot take. They want. Oh wait, sorry. That's that. I don't know why. I scrolled back a little while and I was like, that's new. Oh my goodness. All right, what else do we got? I feel like we can POV honest self journey through DMT. Is that what DMT is like? I'm good. I'm good staying away from it. All right, scary pierogi.
Everyone who thinks that they are gay should struggle to lead a heterosexual life.
That's interesting.
If there were no moral rules and no police...
I love that he's used the same Dennis Prager model, the like human centipede Prager for everything. There's such a rich like background Ammon has given these.
Men would grab women and do what they wanted as a rule. That is the way men are made.
Yeah.
The fact that your man doesn't act that way is because he has been given a set of rules, and because he knows that he will be punished.
See, that's
but
so interesting to me.
Men know this, and we males, I am one of them. I am male.
Yeah.
We know this from a very early age. We can't
Those are very different things, Renaroo. DMT and DHT are very different things. $5 from Mario Marufo. Ari, autism. I typed in Google, is Twilight Sparkle? And the third suggestion was autistic, which is what I was looking for.
It's quickly moving into the hot position.
That tracks.
And I have to say that my brain is still in recovery mode from taking in so many high-level important ideas.
My life is devoted to fighting evil. I want to destroy evil.
Yeah.
This is really critical. If there's no God, there's no good and evil. There are only opinions about good and evil. Here is a fact. There's no God over me. There's no policeman over me. There's no one over me. I am God.
Wait. Miss Aylin were, is that 2 L's? Lycos. TS is a tist. You can't, I understand you're talking about Twilight Sparkle, but in these circles, TS probably means something very different for most people. The channel is Ammon Animations, AAMON Animations. Ammon, you crazy bastard. Alert. Mindblown2438, thank you very much for subscribing. What does TS even stand for? Oh, my sweet summer child. For a lot of, for trans people, a lot of people think of TS as standing for transsexual. Not everybody. It's a little bit older, a little bit outdated. All right, everybody. I think this party has gone on quite a long time. Do we want to raid? We have two options for raiding. We've got actual Jake watching Lil Nas X triggering Matt Walsh, or Riverboat Jack, U.S. coalition bombing Houthis. Riverboat Jack is a wonderful trans content creator that you should go check out either way. Actual Jake is the Cobb father, and it seems like both of them are on a good kick tonight. What are we feeling? Scary Pierogi, have a good night. Dustin the Damned, have a good night. Board certified transsexual. Thank you guys for the stream. Oh, thank you very much, Dustin the Damned, for gifting a tier 1 sub to KittyCast23. And thank you, Schmouderman, for joining. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Let's go with... Seems like Riverboat is trying to hit a sub goal. Oh my goodness, Suji has tipped $15. Holy hecking fluffy ears, this stream is lit at 1WT. You missed... Suji, are you just getting here? You missed the... I showed off a giant Lego pirate ship I had built. I showed off all sorts of stuff. Yeah, let's go raid Riverboat Jack. And I hope everybody goes and follows and subs, because it looks like she's trying to get more subs. Go support her. She does a lot of really good work on YouTube and Twitch. And thank you all so much for joining tonight, and I hope you all have a great rest of your night.